Howdy, folks. Welcome to Mosaic Team 5, our original Starfinder campaign. I am Joe Treff, your DM this evening and most, and joining me are my friends Matt, Dan, Kara, Olive, and Ari. We're all here and we're all back, and we're going to play some Starfinder. But before we do, excuse me, a couple of quick announcements. First of all, we are approaching our 2-year anniversary in February, and so that's going to be, which is incredible to think about. So that's, I think, February 22nd, 21st, something like in that area.
Around Kara's birthday.
Right around Kara's birthday. So we're going to have a very cozy celebration for that. We are going to be playing Adventures in Albron Courts of Everest, our original D&D campaign, tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are also Albron RPG on Instagram and other social media. You can see close-ups of maps and things like that. Right now we just have space and some drinks and stuff, but there are oftentimes handouts, encounter maps, things like that. You can see them in much greater detail at Albron RPG on Instagram. And with that, it's time for tonight's session of Mosaic Team 5. Mosaic Team 5. Last we played. Echo, you found yourself defusing headset bombs on every Fantasy Quest headset connected to a server. Over 13,000 lives in your hands, and successfully you managed to defuse them. You were faced with
mass murderer yet.
Well, as far as we know.
Yeah.
You were faced with a daunting task, with the choice as to how to handle the server, whether you wanted to shut it down, keep it active, force people to leave. Ultimately, after sending out a message to every single player and seeing almost nobody disconnect, you decided to leave it open, the access way to the infosphere wide open. What's happening over there?
Dan is using a dry erase marker on his computer.
Oh, God. It's okay to tell me just don't worry about it. That's also okay. You stress me out so much with your computer. Oh, God. So, Echo, you asked the director for advice as to what to do in this situation, and the director told you, Echo, that you had to make this choice, as you were the one with the power to do so. Shade, with the help of PLEA Agent Bruin, you were able to interface indirectly and realized in a moment that there were phantoms of a past life that seemed to overlay themselves with the present. And you understood, at least in part, that the ancient code in front of you is binary. This old code that was almost unused at this point in this administrative node. With more control, the entire space began to shift and change for you, Echo. Moving to your subconscious, shaping to this sort of reality that you realized really was something that placed you almost on the precipice of godhood. And after arresting Brigitte, whose body was unable to stand even minor gravity, perhaps had more of an insight into why she protected it so fiercely. You left the game running and opened to the infosphere and sealed the server behind you, with Spice soldering plate after plate of steel over the floor to make it harder for anyone to access, though perhaps not exactly hidden. Kit and Bruin received instructions from their PLEA supervisors to recruit the bounty hunter team. Bruin was given 5,000 credits in discretionary spending to invite all of you to help with this extraction. That being a tremendous amount of money for the PLEA, but not a whole lot of money considering Mosaic Team 5 frequently runs into the 6-digit mark in terms of expenditures on missions.
And debts.
Nevertheless, after imparting some credits to you, Shade, you decided to have the team help the PLA agents out of the Hollow Husk and gave them custody of Brigitte to escort away.
That money went to Spice, not Shade.
Yeah, went to Spice.
Ask Spice for money.
With Echo as a scout, you were able to easily navigate the Hollow Husk towards an exit point, hearing the sound of what has quickly become a war zone around you. You managed to safely extract and turn Brigitte over. You returned to Bubbles and Spice's room within the embassy and pushed the door open to see somebody sitting on the navy blue couch, and that is where we begin the scene.
Ooh.
I hope it's like the room service or maid or something.
Something tells me it's not.
Housekeeping, sorry. You realize you're at the wrong room, it's just some guy.
Who are you?
As you push the doors open, you can see standing up from the couch and flashing a smile that pulls the scar that runs from chin to ear into a zipper-like scrunch, Lieutenant Commander Wesley Doyle, a human with a gigantic nose, thick wax mustache, and eyebrows that stand in their crisp navy uniform with a thin white sash of the embassy. You can see it reads Diplomatic Party across it. And he says, "Well, it seems you've outdone yourselves. We've got a little ceremony to get to. Come on, cars are waiting." And he turns and for a second kind of considers his communicator and then says, "It's a little late. Would you all rather rest?"
I mean, I don't need to freshen up, so we could go.
No. I need a good 12 hours before I'm ready to see the light of day.
Well, you won't be seeing the light of day. This is going to take place in a conference room, a very secure one.
Fine with me. And Spice kind of goes off to the bathroom.
Okay. The door shuts.
I would also appreciate a rest and a chance to recharge.
Very well. If you require 12 hours, we will meet again at noon tomorrow. Out front, we'll have 2 cars ready to escort you and whoever you need to take to a conference room a little bit further aft of the station.
So his words are nice. Is he happy with us?
Make a sense motive check.
Nice. Killing it. 31.
So, with a 31, yes. I mean, not necessarily happy with you, but there's no sign of them being upset or that they have maybe noticed that you've turned in the wrong person. They seem to be a little uneasy, but you don't get the sense that it has anything to do with you. Perhaps there's more to this ceremony than just a reward, but they don't seem malevolent in this. It seems to be more just like there's more work ahead kind of expectation.
You know, standard conferences usually like give us a list of questions in advance. Do you have one of those? Like a dossier?
You misunderstand me. This isn't a conference. This will be a conference room. And this is one that is owned by the USR.
This will give me time to write up a report.
Cool.
We'll rest for the evening and meet back up at noon.
He nods, kind of steps back, and then walks out the door and then down the hall. You are all left alone within this room. You are afforded both the room that you're in and the one next door. So you have both of these kind of set aside. What would you all like to do?
Is Squeak here, or is Squeak with Pete?
Squeak is back at the ship, I believe.
Sweep for bugs.
Okay. Make an investigation check. Perception. Sorry. I always forget it's one of the two, and I can't remember which one carries over.
I want to sweep for bugs too, but...
Hey! Roll of the game. We love it.
Squishy dice.
Nice.
So, Echo, how are you going to sweep for bugs?
With a broom.
Fly swatter.
Yes,
That's the yeah.
with all of the tools at my disposal.
Okay.
Echo is using a little bit of like how they would plant things to find information, as well as their echolocators for any like pops and clicks from recording devices.
Sure. So you use your communicator, kind of tuning it to the other augmented abilities that you have as an android, and using a little bit of the knowledge that you as an operative have in terms of maybe being more discreet in these measures. You don't just look in the normal places like in the air vents and under beds. You look for spaces between the baseboard and the wall. You look for places where it looks like maybe there is just a patch of carpet that is slightly discolored. You shift the bed and you really look everywhere, and it pays off. In the bathroom, as you go there and you kind of press the button that Spice is there. But you walk past Spice just on the toilet and looking over, there's a little button that you can press and the mirror just kind of shifts and is no longer there. And that's normally where people could put like toiletries. There's a number of complementary little soaps and things. There is also almost imperceptible, there's 3 joints to this door and one of them is not real. It moves, it's very realistic looking, but you sense a very minute, this is shielded and so purposefully obscured, a tiny electronic signature.
On the hinge of the door of the bathroom?
Is Echo able to take
On the
it?
medicine?
Yeah, with a natural 20, absolutely. You can disconnect it. And are you trying to keep it intact as you do so?
Echo would probably try to keep it relatively intact. Basically, just make it look like an accident.
Okay. Make a performance check. This is
Would it not be a sleight of hand?
Yeah, you know what? I'll give you sleight of hand. That makes sense. And take a +8 conditional modifier for that natural 20.
Damn!
I love this dice today. This
Plus
is a
8
good die.
too!
So, okay, I need to do math now.
Pathfinder!
Please help. What is 19 plus 19 plus 8?
50.
46.
Damn. With a 46.
That might be the highest roll we've ever seen.
Spice, you watch as Echo just barges into the bathroom, walks straight past you, kind of opens the door and rifles through, knocking a few bottles of shampoo over, and then just turns around and walks out, making a mess and leaving it behind. And in your pocket or wherever you want, you now have this small shotgun microphone.
Is it still active?
Yes.
Okay.
Could I have, like, disconnected it?
You have it in your hand, so if you wish to, you can disconnect
Yeah.
it. Okay.
It would have been just like, oh, it fell off.
Yeah, no problem. So
Where
you
did
just
it
kind
go?
of tap it with your finger as you pick it up, and it just shuts off. You can feel the electronic shielding go quiet, and all of a sudden it's just a cold piece of metal in your hands.
Echo comes back into the room and says, I believe we are safe to talk freely now.
Oh
What's
my
that
goodness,
for?
I didn't even think of that.
When you said bugs, I kind of meant more like ants or creepy crawlies.
And
Like
you
some
can
people
see,
look for
like,
bed bugs.
Running down Gibbs's face.
I have a good idea of where those are.
Hmm.
I would also like us to get our stories straight. If we are to go to a highly secured conference room, there will be no means of escape. And we are in the belly of the beast, so to speak.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The Hulk of the Husk has been apprehended, have they not?
Yes. They will no longer terrorize the husk.
Well,
Yep.
They will not, for they have indeed been apprehended.
oh, yes, yes. Spice comes out of the bathroom with, like, her hair all steamed up and in a towel, and she's like, yes, the Hulk of the Husk has been apprehended.
The important thing to note is if you feel uncomfortable with deception, that this is not a lie. The Hulk of the Husk has indeed been apprehended.
Just not turned in. It's true.
No, isn't our story that we
I
turned them in?
believe that we are on another mission for the Hulk of the Husk now. Is that not correct, Bubbles?
Yeah, you guys know how we saw Emma when we were doing the fight against the cultist. When we reached the second floor, I saw some snow and I just put two together and it has to be. And I don't know, part of me is happy that Hunter was able to get away and live. But now Hunter is with Maldross and Emma, and I don't know if that's the right thing. But then part of me thinks, how do we know that we're doing the right thing? What if they're, I don't know. That's not important now. I think we just have to focus on what's in front of us now and just trying to get our story straight. I think Echo is right.
We don't know that Emma brought Hunter to Maldros. Emma could have been...
That is the most likely outcome.
And we do know that the Hulk of the Husk will no longer terrorize. The Hollow Husk. That was an unfortunate naming convention.
Yeah, it's a lot of...
Regardless, we need to keep sentiment out of our conversation.
We cannot be shown to have a true connection, other than excitement that we have done a good job.
Easy.
Right or wrong, they are still out there.
It's better than being dead.
Bubs thinks about what Gibbs says about better being dead, and he thinks back to his time in the Institute when he wonders if life was worth living if he was in those walls.
Everyone should rest. We have a few hours. I'm going to make a report
To Peep?
to Peep
What's your
And
report going to contain?
as evidence.
Is it going to
present.
contain the truth, or...
I will doctor the footage accordingly.
You're gonna lie to Peep?
It will contain the truth as we present it.
Right, but not the truth as we know it.
There is more happening than others need to know. This is why I continue to push discretion.
I wasn't sure if Peep was in our inner circle.
The man of the hour is calling.
And in fact, as you look down at your communicator, you would see Peep, your mission coordinator. Although, interestingly enough, it on your little caller ID it no longer says mission coordinator, it reads senior mission coordinator.
Oh! Damn, Peep! Okay!
Daddy,
You pick up?
Oh!
Hey, Peep!
So the face of this white little Yosoki swims into life in the holographic image, and you can see he says, "By the universe, guys, what's happening? There's so much going on. We have finances again. Please fill me in. Why am I senior mission coordinator now?
We apprehended the Hollow Husk guy.
Like the Hollow Husk at Prime Station?
Uh-huh.
You actually did not. I'm not surprised, but you guys actually did that.
And we're gonna go to a conference room tomorrow. They're taking us to a whole conference room. I'm hoping there's little sandwiches. Can you make sure of that?
I'll see what I can do. Wait, what conference room are you going to?
That the divers of the Hollow Husk within the Fantasy Quest game were being controlled by Brigitte.
Yeah, I tried to look that up after you told me about it last time. I didn't really find anything about it.
They were the head developer of the game, somehow able to bring elements of the game into the real world. They were using that power to create what was the Husk.
I don't really understand any of that, but as long as you actually took this person in, I mean, we just got a tremendous amount of income, and it looks like we have an Eclipse Mall membership at the gold level again. You guys are going to have a personal attendant and a full bar every time that you go now. It's the Mosaic 2 hangar. You guys have a new hangar, just like Mosaic Team 1.
What?
You guys are even going to get a cart to drive around the mall. I've never even seen one.
Whoa.
What bay? 2?
Mosaic Bay 2. Yeah, that will be yours. This is all really unbelievable. We'll have to talk about what's going to happen next, but we should be able to do pretty much whatever we want now.
Who informed you of all of these promotions?
It was... Hang on a second here.
Was it?
No, it was exciting.
It was the director. He was like, I saw into Echo's mind.
Brian or Will I Am, I think. No, Will I Am. I learned it as Will I
William
Am.
the Pleaser.
As you keep saying Will I Am, it makes me so happy.
So I heard it from, I guess my peer, Senior Mission Coordinator Maxwell I Am. He told me that he was told by Chief of Mission Control Orion Massacorb, who heard it from Director of Operations Robert himself, and I bet he even talked to Assistant Moonwatch. So really, I mean, I basically heard it from the top. So, it's pretty exciting and everything, but they just never really told me why. But I got a pretty good pay increase, and I mean, you guys really did it. This is basically going to put you guys into serious contention. You're real bounty hunters now.
Oh my god.
Peep,
Yeah.
There are unknown agents operating within the scope of what is happening on Prime Station. Echo discovered a listening device of unknown origins. I would advise caution.
Oh,
Everything that has happened is...
yeah. Of course, those sandwiches are good. So he's like all of a sudden very like obviously like you can see starts to sweat and like not.
I love it.
This is not really his thing.
Whisper comes to Shade. It's like, perhaps we do not mention the finding of listening devices over an unsecure connection.
So, guys, I was just thinking maybe we could talk about some potential menu items for our party that we're planning after this.
Can we sleep first and think about it?
Oh yeah, it's probably midnight where you guys are.
Can we call you in the morning? We've got this time before the press conference.
Yeah, just really quick, is there any kind of, just because they're going to ask me and I have to fill out the paperwork, was there any severe damages this time that we're going to have to take into account?
I mean, I was demoted.
You were demoted?
Yeah. So I guess we'll need to find a way to repurpose the med bay into something more useful for the team.
Gibbs was not demoted.
I was basically fired.
Gibbs has lost some privileges of medical officer.
Which, like, why would I do it if I didn't get privileges? So.
Okay, this sounds like a kind of thing that we're going to need to talk about, and maybe I'll get HR involved with this, or sorry, SR involved with this. Sentient Resources may have some guidance, but never mind. If you guys need to get some rest, go ahead and do that, and then we'll talk tomorrow.
Thanks.
But I'm really proud of you guys. You did awesome, and I was really worried that you might be lying to me and up to something else. Ars Bay felt kind of weird, but I appreciate you guys, really.
And everybody looks away from
Peep
the
out and
Love you.
terminates the connection.
We're not lying.
I am proud of all of you for keeping your mouths shut.
Echo goes, I am proud of you for lying to father.
Spice just flicks her hair and she's like, that's what I'm good at. And she goes to bed.
But how much do we know to keep Peep in the loop, though? I mean, there's a lot of things that happen I don't even know how to explain. That sniper fire that we had when we were on...
Clearly whatever is happening is above Peep as well.
But
I
we
do
can
not
use Peep.
believe Peep is our enemy. I am concerned about people who are watching for Peep. I do not think that Senior Coordinator Peep has the ability to stop what might be coming for them internally.
But with these new resources, we can pick a mission. I mean, people give us options, but we should all think about what do we actually want to do? Do we want to go after Maldros and Emma?
I do agree with these sentiments.
Do we want to figure out what's going on with Pallades Rock?
But one thing we should consider as well. We were informed that the hulk of the husk was not a true bounty and not of primary concern. Why all of a sudden did we get so many resources and Peep receive a promotion?
This is why I am concerned as well.
Do you think it possibly has to do with us finding something else or opening the door for something else being found? I was talking with Shade about this, and a little bit with Spice, but Steele told me that he found a server that Emma was going on. Some kind of information hub. I believe that's why Emma was in the husk in the first place.
I am concerned about how I left things with that video game. I do not think that it was entirely correct, but I think it is for the best. I worry, however, that corporations might see it as something useful.
Weren't they USR? Weren't they also going to do research into the Tony's Express while we were in the husk? They're
That
going to
is
have
correct.
found out what happened there, and we might have to answer for some of that in the...
Which is all the more reason why we need to stay discreet.
What is our story about Antonia's Express? Somebody tell it to me because
You do not
I'm gonna
know
blow
what
it
happened
live.
on the Tony Express.
We don't know. That's what we're gonna say.
If
We
you
were
are
attempting
pressed,
to keep the passengers calm en route during what could have potentially been an emergency situation. then the train was damaged. Many lives were lost, and we did our best.
We did evacuate everyone.
Yeah, did you
Evacuated
see
most.
me and Bubbles as Daft
We
read
all
me
know
out?
what happened. We need to keep our story straight,
Yeah, so I'm asking, what is our
Don't
story on the
talk.
Tony's Express?
unnecessarily.
Yeah, it's not really helpful when it's like we need to keep our story straight, but then you say we all know what happened, because like
Like, what are we saying to the public? What is my script?
As little information as is necessary.
May I offer a suggestion? Tony's Express was entering a known dangerous part of the route, one with much debris. During this experience, the power was fluctuating, and passengers were not calm. We stepped in to ensure that the passengers remained focused on something positive. During that experience,
it was you.
Yes.
the train sustained heavy damage. Lives were lost, and we evacuated who we could. During that period, it was burglarized by a known criminal element, and while we were able to successfully save the people, we were not able to save the cargo. And that is all they need to know.
That's helpful. See? Thanks, Echo. Appreciate it.
That is the truth.
Yeah.
Spice furiously taking notes on her comm, being like, saved the cargo. Wait,
Not the
saved
people. The people all dead. They're gonna be like, but you evacuated
wait a
people.
second.
And we're gonna be like,
The
no.
snakes.
The story is
Yeah,
like
snake-
iron.
Echo looks at like the
Is it good that we killed the snakes?
reflection in Spice's mechanical
And
eyes. It's
you
like,
can,
we
you
saved
just
the people,
move the
not
things
the
around.
cargo.
Yeah.
No, not that one.
Okay.
Wait, what even happened to the gold hand that I stowed?
I don't know.
Is
It's
that
still
still
in
in
the
the
smuggler's
trailer?
compartment, wedged all the way in the
Find it
back.
so
Yeah.
Yay!
We need to evacuate that from the ship as soon as possible.
Oh yeah, we'll pawn it somewhere.
That is not what I meant. I meant into the vacuum of space.
Fuck no.
Babe, maybe we can talk about that later. But let's focus on getting our story straight. I think we mostly have everything down for what happened at Tony Express. Does anyone have any other, issues what happened on the Husk? I was trying to say this earlier, but, there was that mysterious sniper fire that happened earlier in the Husk. That
Does
Echo-
anybody need to know about that though? No one's gonna
No,
bring
but
that
we
up.
should talk about it because that's now the second time.
Yeah,
What was
some-
the first time?
Well, when we were talking to Taco X Black Black Black.
yeah. it
Oh
happened on
right.
Dorado.
Or it was one of the D ones.
I like it was Dorado. I like how I gave him 3 different names: his real name, an alias, and then his gamer tag.
let's
And you guys attached to the gamer tag.
I mean, it's XXX Taco Black.
No, I don't think it's important to talk about, but I think it's important for us to discuss.
It is
because-
more evidence that whatever is happening is much greater than what we are being shown.
Exactly.
Someone's changing our worldview actively in front of us.
Someone is orchestrating an event that is larger than anything that we have currently seen.
But you don't feel bad that we're the boots on the ground in front of that scene? Like, is anyone worried about that?
What we need to do is keep our heads low and try to focus on finding out more so that we do not have to remain cogs in this machine.
Besides the sniper and the things around the sniper, there's no way to track a sniper line from it.
Not
like,
unless you have a hard
retroactively.
safe
sniper-
scope.
Is inconsequential.
No, it's the person
It is
who's
one
wielding the
piece of
sniper.
evidence.
Right. So I'm asking, like, when a sniper shoots a gun, is there any way to track exactly where that bullet came from?
There's ways of doing line in sight, but I think what's kind of important here is what Shade's saying is that we just need to really have our heads kind of aware that we might even be watched by someone, even if they're on a sniper scope or without one.
The expectation should be that we are constantly being watched.
What is it?
It's like a little door hinge, but then there are just wires and little microprocessors that are within far too complex for a door hinge.
Can't you track that or trace it or something?
I would prefer not to do so in the middle of its.
Home.
Thank you.
But like later?
Potentially. I am worried that at our current state, we would not be able to resist any force.
I think that what we should do going forward is we should only trust people in this room. I don't think we can just... Look, Steele said something to me, and something doesn't add up. When I was growing up, Steele never told me that the other people in the orphanage were with the PLA. Demp told me there was another child. I wanted to confront Steele about this, but now he's going on the mission, and why wouldn't he tell me?
Perhaps the same reason we do not need to tell Peep everything. For your own safety. And his.
But what if it was Miles? Did he think that I would...
There's no sense in worrying about the past. If Miles is out there, then all you can do is move forward until you find him.
The past shapes you, though, Bubs. We don't have the answers, though, but understanding what questions you need to ask and understanding you might have only a short amount of time is going to help you prioritize how you're going to use that time when you do get to see Steele. This is important for you to think about.
We need to rest.
Yeah, I'm tired.
I'll write up a report to present to them tomorrow. Any questions, be discreet. Only answer what you need to answer. And don't contradict one another. They will try to separate us.
Can I have 1,000 credits, please?
No.
Please?
Nope.
Why?
You get the sense that your briefing has ended.
Please?
No.
Please?
No.
Please?
Why?
Because I need to make a phone call.
In a phone call that costs 1,000 credits? That's just a lie. I thought we were only trusting the people in this room.
I'm telling you the truth.
It doesn't cost 1,000 credits.
No, it doesn't cost 1,000 credits, but I'd like to have the 1,000 credits when I make the phone call.
Why, are you gonna bribe somebody?
No, I'm gonna gift it.
To who?
Probably about a 25-minute drive.
Potato died, honey.
Sassy.
would go with
Slinky.
Oh,
Whatever the dwarf's name
Oh, the other rat.
is. Yes.
I mean, there's nothing forcing you guys to sleep here. You could go back to the ship and sleep there. That's,
No, I'm gonna sleep in this dope-ass fucking hotel.
It is a dope-ass fucking hotel. It's an embassy for, like, diplomats. So.
Is it a suite in the embassy?
It is not.
Oh!
Hey,
Nice. Gibbs takes 1,000 credits from... The only one who I think have successfully pried credits from Spice. Thanks.
Echo sees
You
the transfer
little-
happen and just kind of like sidles up.
Not you. And she goes to bed. I doling out
Maybe
everything
you
I
can
can.
have my credits.
Ding, ding.
Good, because I have them.
You close your eyes, Spice, and then you just see, like, through your eyelids, the blue light intensify a little bit.
Spice puts the, like, blackout shades on her eyes.
Spice.
Personal debts could be repaid with money.
I'm dreaming.
Feelings would be
Of a what?
repaired with money.
4,000 credits is not going to heal your debt, nor
4,000
mine.
credits should be allotted evenly between the 5 of us.
Yeah, so give me all the credits that,
I give all of my credits to Mosaic Team 5.
And he does let us spend it. He just asks for receipts. It's a little annoying because I have so
It's
many
fucking
receipts,
annoying.
but like,
Gibbs
it's
always,
fair.
when Gibbs goes into a place, it's like 30 different items because it's never just, I'm going to go in, I'm going to buy a battery. It's, I'm going to buy a battery. Ooh, and that gum. Ooh, and that toilet paper. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Echo Bluetooth sings with Spice.
Ah!
You owe me.
Bitch. All right, fine. She'll give you 1,000.
Nice. Killing it. This is personal growth. This is character growth.
So, Spice, you're just spending money in bed.
I sleep.
Eh.
I go into the bathtub. I
Gibbs
sleep.
goes into the bathtub and just squeaks down and goes to bed.
I want to go get Squeak
Okay.
and just check on him real quick and make sure he's a good boy, and come back and get the squad. I also probably will do some repairs while I'm there because our ship is kind of fucked.
It's so. I mean, with the elements of
Well-
docking, you're getting repairs to your ship.
Yeah, more like the engineering bay and
Yeah, that's
the
still
like
not the
internal
best.
pieces that have gotten fucked, and also like making sure that they didn't fuck with any shit.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm gonna give Shade my Dothco to repair.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh shit.
And Shade, do you want company or?
I'm fine either way.
Bubs will go with Shade.
Okay. The two of you head out. Is anybody else going, or is everybody else resting?
Snoozing.
Echo will stay awake while those two are out and these two are sleeping.
Okay.
Yeah.
As soon as the door shuts, you hear Gibbs in the bathroom snoring away, Spice in bed snoring away. It's just you awake. There's no time to set up a watch. It is you.
You can wake me up though. I'll be fine.
Be back soon.
Spice is in like a mountain of pillows. She took all the pillows off of everybody else's bed and made like a nest.
There's several
That's like-
really large L-shaped couches too, so you can pull like all the cushions off.
Oh
There is-
yeah,
I mean, there's a lot.
it's like 10 feet
This is like
high.
what Olive wishes was happening.
Oh,
right
for
now.
sure. And she's got all the comforters and she's wrapped herself and like spun around to like really spaghetti her. Or,
Do you have fake pillow bubbles?
yes.
Gibbs does that, but with toilet paper.
Very nice. You take all like the little hand towels out, just kind of wrap them around your feet. The two of you.
Sits down very rigid and then does like a C3PO and just like lights turn off. Just so there's no like flare.
Just the eyes, but no problem. For the two of you, you get into the elevator and make your way down and heading through the lobby and out into the street, which is generally just kind of like this dark place, and you can see what at first looks like space through the glass, but you're recognizing the longer you spend in Prime Station, it's so massive that from anywhere really within, you can't really see space. You are looking out into other areas of the station so far away that it twinkles almost like stars. It really strikes you how huge this place is. But just across the street, you can see a number of cars, a number of kind of taxi-like things that you have taken before, black with these automated drivers. You also do see parked directly out front a black hover SUV, and standing outside of it and now looking at you, you see Lieutenant Justine Clark, who you had met previously as the kind of attaché to Commander Doyle. But she kind of nods to all of you and just says, "Do you need a ride?"
That would be most welcome.
Kind of goes around, looks behind you. Where's the rest of your group? Justine Clark.
We are simply returning to the ship to check on our dog.
Very well. She turns. You can see she pulls out her communicator and, not trying to hide this at all, says, "There are 3 staying behind." And then, like, puts it back, goes around and opens up and gets into the driver's side of the car.
I'll get in.
Okay.
I'll get in.
You get in. The doors kind of shut on either
Whisper
side.
calm to Echo. Lieutenant Clark was waiting outside.
As you begin to
keep
drive
eyes.
away, Lieutenant Clark will say, "I hope you don't mind, but we posted guards. There's just been so many dangerous activity that we don't want to risk anything happening."
Is that true?
Make a sense motive check.
And to be clear, when you said that she was waiting for them, was she like outside the building or outside
Outside the
her
building.
door?
Outside the building.
Okay. So no one is outside her door when they
No.
left.
Okay.
That we could see.
Nice. But
Nice.
the sense motive is decreased by.
It's really hard to tell. Really hard to tell.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It is understandable given the situation.
So you tell her where your ship is, and she takes you off towards the aft bay. Give me 1 second here. So you tear along that main street before you emerge into the familiar, very red district that you had passed through with the commercial strip. You pass by an EP Mart, which you know to be very much like a 7-Eleven. They have their Frozone drinks and their like shitty little hot dogs. You go by Galactic Bazaar, a Cyber Dragon Enhancements. You go by Noodle Shacks and little antique shops, pawn stores. And eventually you make your way towards the aft landing bay where your ship is. And returning to it, you can see it has been cleaned on the outside slightly. Not that anybody's put like significant attention, but this is like a standard, probably like wash to get any kind of little bacteria and things like that off. Really more for like cleanliness than any real washing. It's been refueled, your ship, and it looks to be more or less as you left it, with a few minor repairs done.
Gonna get out and say to Lieutenant Clark, we will be only a few hours. I wish to do some reports before heading back, and I will take the dog out for a walk.
Very well. I'm going to leave Tank here just to keep an eye on all of you guys, and you guys let us know. I'll come back in an hour, but let me know if you need something before then.
Thank you. We should be okay.
She nods. She turns and kind of gestures, and there's another car that kind of followed you guys. One of the two USR soldiers gets out. They're also wearing a white diplomatic sash. Interestingly, as a member of the USR, they are a Lashunta, which you don't see a tremendous number of. But they just kind of nod to you, and they don't get any closer to the ship. They just kind of like look around and are sort of walking around amongst the people who are here. Yes.
I was hoping Tank was gonna be like a bulldog.
No.
It's like, I leave my dog here with you because you're gonna walk a dog.
No, he's a Lashunta that's kind of on the shorter end. I think you know them as Damiao Lashunta, and they I can't remember which one is which. Karasha.
Yeah.
This is a Karasha Lashunta, and I mean they're a little bit stouter, and so you could maybe kind of see like a bulldog kind of comparison, but not especially. They're a little beefy, yeah. It's a beefy Lashunta.
Gonna go into the ship and then check for any tampering and check on my sweet boy Squeak.
Sure.
Bubs will assist Shade, but Bubs will just be quiet and like try to like.
And I'm gonna start doctoring the footage with my exocortex.
Okay. So make a computers check for doctoring that footage. As you walk up the ramp, the door opens up, and you can hear the voice of the director say, "Welcome back. You have 2 missed messages."
Director, play the 2 messages, please.
Okay. What was your check?
29 for the computers check.
So it will take you some time, but using the various elements of the engineering bay, you can pretty easily doctor this.
I'm not even really doctoring. I'm just taking I'm like splicing it together so that it's like, oh, we go down there. Oh, it's Brigitte. No footage of Hunter. No footage of Potato Blue.
Okay.
Maybe footage of Potato Blue because like presumably,
It's like, and after a certain period, it's hard to like not have Potato Blue on at least one of the cameras.
And footage of Portis. Basically trying to frame them as the only 2 main actors, and then also the footage from the fight where they had reality warping shit.
So what I'll say is you are setting essentially a 29 DC for a sense motive check to try to like suss out if this is real or not.
Cool.
That's pretty good. You do lose elements of the narrative, so that like if somebody really pays attention,
I got knocked out for a bit, so.
Right? And so like there are parts that don't quite fit, but you do a pretty good job.
Yeah, it's only the evidence that I have myself. It's not a full picture, but it's to supplement the report. And then I'm going to check on my sweet boy Squeak.
Sure. As you go over to Squeak, and as you're there, the director says, "One message is for Gibbs. Second message from Efi to Mosaic Team 5. Efi writes," and then just in like generic kind of speech, writes out, "Hi, Mosaic Team 5. Just when I tried to get out. Ha ha ha. It looks like I'm back for Mosaic. I don't really understand the position, but some new kind of office job? I guess I'll be seeing you soon. Efi."
Director, please forward message to the rest of the team and forward Gibbs' message to Gibbs.
Very well. And after a couple seconds, there's a message first to everybody that contains this message from Efi, your former intern, who you very quickly convinced not to be a bounty hunter.
Yeah. What happened to the bakery?
And yeah, she did start a bakery, so you can ask her about
Maybe
that.
it blew up and now she's doing all the catering for
We blew up her
Mosaic.
bakery.
Somehow we managed.
No, like in a good way. Now she's got a chain.
Like
She sold
social
it.
media
She's just
blow
living
up.
on dividends.
Mosaic bought it. And that
Gibbs,
was,
you get a message that is from...
I'll play it.
Second here. Well, this is also a text message. And it reads... So it is from a ship called the Solar Wind Song. And you would remember that this is a ship that belongs to Rose.
I knew it! Yes! Okay.
And the message says, well, well, well. Looks like you folks are really making a name for yourselves. I don't know if you've seen the board this week, but you guys are listed exactly one position behind yours truly. Truly hallowed company. Seeing you up here reminded me to warn you. Someone's killing bounty hunters. I got the tip from Cadrid Wilkso, who heard it from the devil herself, who probably heard it from TJ, so you know it's true. There's a serial killer who seems to be targeting bounty hunter groups. They got the Corpus Crawlers, Shep Yellow and his gang, Print, whoever he is, but they're killing their way up the food chain, feels like. Careful, Gibbs, and let me know if you hear anything. Rose.
Who was the name that Rose heard it from? Cadrid?
She heard it from Cadrid Wilsho, who heard it from the devil herself, who probably heard it from TJ, so you know it's true. That was the chain.
I text Rose Lashwind just like a nice note, just being like, thank you so much. You know, we're working as a team. Feel free to join us. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for the tips. Hope to see you soon.
Okay.
Love, Gibbs.
You send out the little message, no problem.
Yeah. And I'll screenshot the general text and send it to everyone, so everyone's got the same information.
No problem.
To process at their
Information
leisure.
sharing, look at that.
Nice. We're teaming.
Oh my god. Yeah, I think I need this moment to be documented that Mosaic Team 5 just teamed. I think maybe for the first time.
That's not true. We killed somebody and we teamed.
So going up to
double
the
teamed them, at
cockpit,
least.
going up to the cockpit, you open the door and immediately there is the ruff of Squeak, who just jumps up, and you're pretty stable. He doesn't knock you over, but it's a good amount of momentum. He licks you. He's very excited. He is a little stinky, and just being confined so much, even though there is regular cleaning, there's a little drone that cleans up after Squeak. The little triangle wedge one that comes out of the wall, it will come up and scoop up Squeak poops if there are any accidents. It just hasn't really been out very much, and so could definitely use a walk.
I'm gonna take him for first gonna make sure he's still got all his training down. So
Okay.
Get his treats and gonna run him through the motions. Then I'm gonna give him a bath because after the
There is no
workout,
animal handling.
and then
Go ahead and make a survival check.
I'm gonna
Squeak is
Nat
like,
2. No.
don't jinx me like that.
Can I
It's the
assist?
most important role.
No, Squeak, sit, and then the actuators misfire and crush.
okay, talk to you later, bye.
I'm gonna Squeak. That's a 22.
22. Squeak is so excited to see you. You say sit, he rolls over. There's a couple that you have to kind of really drill through. He isn't really picking up a lot of training.
It's been a while. I can't blame him.
There has, and he's very excited to see you, and it's one of those things where he starts to sit, but then he runs over and starts licking you.
Yeah, I gotta get some of this energy out of him first.
His butt is going back and forth so
Take
quickly
him
that
for
he can't
walkies.
really get it on the ground.
Yeah,
Yeah,
take him for a walkie.
no problem. So very
I'll
excited
join
to see.
the walkie.
Okay. So in your
You're like, you stop and you're like, what? Yeah, wait, what?
Yeah, but I get the whole. I
Gotta
get the
make
whole.
sure the harness is on all the way.
Bubbles holds his own leash, just walks like that.
It's the costume from War Space.
Oh,
how we
God.
costume.
Anyways,
Tank is there like, what did I?
What the fuck?
These guys
I'm
are
walking my dogs. Do you have a problem, sir?
so you and Bubbles hopefully walk only the dog on a leash down the ramp, and you guys can take the dog out in a watch. I think you would notice, it seems like, Shade, for you, it feels a lot like you're just being followed. This guy follows you behind. Bubbles, make a sense motive check.
Okay. Also, just can you paint a scene for me?
Yeah.
Is it how does the night cycle work? Is it nighttime? Is there lights? Are things dimmed?
It always depends on the district. So in the lighted districts, there is generally dimming and lighting cycles, but the light doesn't really change in terms of its intensity. There are other places, of a location kind of on the periphery of the station towards the aft section that is known as the Rip Strip. And that's a place where many of the asteroid mining groups kind of base out of. There are also tours that go out towards some of like the smaller celestial bodies in the region. But that is a place where light is really only built around like the workstations and the places where people are, and everything else is just shadows. There are places that do have proper day-night cycles. Like I believe you guys walked around the Silver Strip, and that is a place that is like a lot of shopping malls. There's parks, and so places like that, places like the Motkaku Observatory, those all have day-night cycles.
So this area right now, is it dimmed or?
It's so you are in a landing bay. This is just kind of overhead industrial lighting.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. 25, and I guess we'll just we'll walk around the areas of the ships. I mean, we look at ships, I guess, maybe.
This guy who follows you, he is not making any attempt to hide this.
Yeah.
It really is more like you get the sense that he is almost like a bodyguard, less that he's like keeping track on you. And as he's watching, you get that sense because he's not really looking at you guys. He's always looking up. He's looking around. He's looking in front of you guys, but he doesn't seem to be really paying close attention to what you're doing. Shade, you're just kind of like, this guy's sketchy.
Smoking my cigarette, walking my dog, looking back at the weird guy who's following me.
No problem.
You're local?
You successfully walk this dog.
And probably... Are we out of earshot of this guy?
Yeah.
I would, at a certain point, say to Bubs... I apologize for the occurrence in the garage. Whatever is happening has progressed. I still have no answers as to why.
I want to say that you're fine. I've been in situations before where I see a problem in front of me and I just want to downplay it because I don't want it to be true. And I honestly, I don't know what's going on with you, Shade. And I'm scared. I want to say that part of that fear is because a lot of the responsibility will fall on me if something happens to you, but a lot of it is, this group is my family. And I think about how my previous family broke apart, and I think about how you and Gibbs fight, and how sometimes everyone in this group is just so different. We could all go our own way at a flick of a, finger. But I don't know what to say, Shade.
You don't need to say anything. I do understand. It is difficult. I feel as if I am losing myself.
I want you to know that you're not losing yourself. I said I don't want to try to make this better for you. I don't want to sugarcoat,
asking you
but
to make things better for me. I am presenting what I know to try and allow you to make decisions on how you should proceed. You are responsible enough. If something is to happen, I know that you will do what needs to be done.
even if that means if you do something.
And then Bub's just...
Whatever you need to do to continue Mosaic Team 5 forward.
In Bubs' head, he thinks, could I kill Shade if I have to?
Yes, Captain. I'll make sure of it, Captain.
We should return to the ship. I'll fix your Dothco and then we'll go back to the crew.
Right away.
Okay. You finish your walk, you bring the dog back. You can return him, change out the water and stuff, and kind of make sure that Squeak is well cared for in the cockpit. And you guys can... Oh,
Can I look at my garden? You said the rice plant survived. Is there any chance, Joe, please, please, don't let my plants die because of a poop joke. Please, Joe, please. Don't get on my...
Joke got taken extremely far.
It's kind of your fault.
Oh my god!
You held up the bathroom when
Please,
an old
Joe.
dude is incontinent.
as Shade is leaving, and you kind of make your way over, you remember that you have a garden that you have attempted to make. And though it was badly damaged, as you make your way over and you look at what was just covered in refuse, about 3 inches long, you do see some green shoots that are popping out in the very well irrigated soil of this literal
Well-irrigated,
farming.
well-fertilized.
It's a farming drone that you built.
Manure.
And then
So,
Squeak
yeah.
goes over and eats it all.
No.
Here's Squeak. Here's Squeak.
But
Nom,
no
nom, nom,
problem.
nom, nom.
You make your way back to the embassy without any issue, unless there's anything that you want to stop for along the way.
No. I think that's it. Squeak is safe.
My garden's safe.
As the night passes,
Garden, it's 1 point.
all of you can mark off a rest and kind of restore whatever you have. And as you wake up, you are level 9.
Damn.
And so
Nothing
if
much
you...
has happened for Echo.
Yeah, spicy.
I
sir.
spent some of that time upgrading myself after
you
upgrading the Dothco.
And so, yeah, your Dothco back to full function. Give me 1 second here.
Gibbs wakes up in the bathroom's even grosser.
Even grosser.
Those
you-
sorry, go ahead.
No worries.
Those creepy collies that live inside bathtub drains, those like centipede-looking things. That's what I'm imagining is in the bathtub with you right
Silverfish?
now.
Yeah.
That's what they're called, silverfish. Yeah, those bad
So
boys.
this is a space station that has millions of species on it. There are probably way worse things in some of the bathrooms. However, this in the embassy proper probably has like UV sterilization within the pipes. Like it's a little bit more clean than many of the places that you guys have been.
So the silverfish are at least clean silverfish.
You see one poke its head out, it's wearing a little bow tie. So you all wake up one by one with Shade and Bubbles kind of waking up on the later end.
Can I make a phone call?
You absolutely can. Who are you calling?
I'm gonna call Slinky.
Okay.
Wait, first, can I do a quick Google search? We left the Hollow House because there was like gunshots and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Did we ever figure out what was up with that? Or like who was gunshotting whoing?
Make a cultures check.
Can I-
Plus 8 conditional modifier.
There were artillery strikes, and one of them was the PLA.
23.
23? With the 23, you go through, and at first it's kind of hard to find any information. You're focusing a lot, excuse me, on artillery, and that seems to be skewing your results somewhat. But as you are able to dial this in a little bit closer, give me 1 second to pull it up last week. You heard it there?
I just realized I have a really cool thing that I can do at level 9.
So
good thing.
that's lovely.
You do note that along a couple of different sectors within the Hollow Husk, it seems that there are riots happening, and these are largely attributed to an inter-gang conflict in a group known as the Huskheads. However, with a 22, the biggest news of the day is that there is a prime tactical growler, which is an armored personal carrier that has a military grade laser cannon mounted to it that was strafing a bunch of residential properties. They actually had to pull back many of the PLEA members and are now staging for a secondary raid. So at the moment, some control has been lost of parts of the Hollow Husk. That's all that you find, though.
Okay, cool. Then I will call Slinky.
Okay. You call and very quickly picks up. And you just hear, "Hi, Gibbs.
Hi.
It's kind of early. Are you guys okay?"
We're okay.
Alan, whoa.
Boo.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah, I have I found Potato.
You found Potato?
Yes.
I was so worried.
And I'm gonna tell you the bad news. And I'm gonna tell you
Is she
this.
hurt?
She's gone. Slinky.
Like they took her away?
She's dead. I'm so sorry.
Flying goes dead.
Oh. Shit. That's
I'm gonna send her a quick text. And I'm
Okay.
gonna say There's no one way to process this. And I know I'm not going to steer you. But when it's safe, you can find what I found. And I'm going to give her the instructions to the basement of the parking garage place.
Okay.
And just sort of give her those instructions.
Make a diplomacy check.
And I'm going to send it
Take a -8 conditional modifier.
Oh no, Talon!
This is so you get -6 because you just told her that her sister is dead.
Yeah.
And you get -2 for that woe.
Cool. So it's a 10.
Okay.
But I'm going to also say, just keep in mind the place might be crawling with cops, or maybe not. I don't know. The PLA seemed busy, but like, go carefully. And I'm sorry.
Okay. You send that message. And you wait for a little bit, waiting for a response, but none comes.
Gibbs calls room service and orders everything on the menu. I assume it's paid for?
So if you call and it's like an automated voice, and it's one of those things that's like, welcome to the embassy. Like, it's like a very automated thing. And so like, it will ask you, what would you like? Are you literally going to say everything on the menu?
Yeah. Wait, is it like press 1 for potatoes and press 2 for...
No.
Oh.
It's like a person who answers and is like, what can I get you?
Okay, then I'm like...
Such a billionaire move.
40 waffles and 16 pancakes and 2 gallons of maple syrup and biscuits and cheese on the biscuits and a rack of lit ribs.
Is there any dietary restrictions we should be aware of?
Gluttony. Not a restriction. What's the opposite of restriction?
I'm not really familiar with what that would be.
Great.
I think you like it.
Yes. More food, the better. Bigger portion sizes.
You like it.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Coming up soon.
Just send when ready.
The phone's already done.
Love, Gibbs.
You like it.
I keep getting hung up on.
That sounds like an amazing.
And a Diet Coke.
I don't know why that was so funny. About 20 minutes goes by, and then there is a very, very nice little chime that comes from the door. Very, very quick, yeah. And up on your floor, there is a very large, almost like when you go to Home Depot, those big push carts that you get. And there's 2 of the normal size trolleys that are loaded onto that, just laden with food.
Nice.
And you actually smell it before it even gets there, before you even hear the squeak of the wheels.
Just the nose of
then
the
you hear
people.
Squeak, yeah.
Not like that though.
You pop the door open, and there it is. It's a robot that's just pushing it along on this little hover cart, and you can whip off the thing, and there is just cloche after cloche, little silver trays with all these different things. One of them is just loaded with biscuits. They smell fresh and like buttermilk, and it's great. You can bring all that in, no problem.
Yeah, the
And
couch has no cushions on it, so it's just like that becomes the table.
It's a tremendous amount of food.
It's great.
So no problem. As Shade and Bubbles, you wake up, there is already, to call it a spread, would you kind of think about that as food being on a table? It's just laid out on the bare underside of the couch without the cushions on it. Some on the coffee table as well, some on the floor, because it's a lot of food. Literally probably about 2 pallets worth of food.
Is Spice out of the bed?
No.
Even when I sleep in, you're still sleeping?
Yeah. Okay, fine. All right. If you need me to be away,
No.
she smells the maple syrup and she's like, "Is that what I think it is?"
Yeah, but that one's for bathing and this one's for eating.
What?
Come find out.
She does.
Cool.
Please explain.
Definitely 1 gallon's for bathing. Gibbs is just like, no.
So you know those foot baths that people like soak their feet in?
Yes.
Gibbs is doing that, but with like a like 5-gallon bucket of maple syrup. Just paws right in there. The fur around her ankles like floating up at the very top because it doesn't quite break the surface tension.
Ew.
Yeah, it's
Spice dips her feet in.
you put your feet into a bucket of maple syrup, and though it is warmed by Gibbs's feet, it is still incredibly tacky. And so, like, the harder you push, the slower they kind of sink down. It's almost like a non-Newtonian fluid. But your feet are covered, and you realize they are going to be incredibly sticky for some time.
Bubs looks at in horror.
Yeah.
because he hates me. And he hates.
How much time until we have to go to this meeting?
You guys probably have like 20 minutes.
Oh, shit.
Being
Oh,
generous,
fuck.
because you had 12 hours. You guys left for 4. You came back. If you slept for 8,
I had a
you're pushing
question
it.
that I don't know if it's an insight or something.
Okay.
Is there a developers page for Fantasy Quest? And if so,
So you were here when the
is
group
Potato Blue-
did a look for this kind of stuff. It's the information from this was scoured from the internet, and really
Right.
like lots of resources went into pulling it away. And so there wasn't a lot. There is no developers page, anything like that.
Because my suspicion is that Potato Blue may have been on the development team, but I was trying to find if there's a way to confirm that in one way or the other.
You imagine that probably on one of the checks that you guys made, if it was a little higher, you would have been able to find it.
Okay. Cool. Then I'm good.
Maybe if you looked in certain nodes within the actual server.
Kara!
Nodes
Oh,
are
come
for
on, it's fine.
nerds.
Nodes are for
Nerds.
I mean, Kara didn't explode 13,000 people's
Yeah,
heads. It's
like-
pretty
That's
good.
true. That was
Everything
pretty
in
cash
that
You
is-
money.
should have done it. Actually, I have to say that scene was great.
That was tense,
pretty
man.
cash money, some might say, as the kids say.
Pretty good.
As the kids say.
So what are you all doing? Are you going down?
Yeah.
I'll get a
gonna go
little ready. I am
Get
at,
escorted.
Yeah, wait, what are we supposed to wear? Like, what is, like...
You weren't told.
I'm wearing this, and I lift up my feet, and then all the maple syrup, I use my magic to, like, scoop it into my fur. So I'm just, like, a little bit sloshier than normal.
It's almost
and
like
extra sticky.
Gibbs's foot is drinking the maple syrup out of the bucket, and you can see like little kind of like slurpy tendrils. It climbs its way up Gibbs's leg.
Ooh, that's my butt.
Kind of gets into the fur. You can see like Gibbs becomes almost like baby oil sheen under the fur, but it's maple syrup, just a thin layer.
We have already drawn some media attention from this. We should try to remain presentable. We don't know who will be watching.
Spice clicks on the red dress that she wore to TJ's, the nip slip that she had. We're like, I'm gonna redeem myself.
Not your formal wear, your nip slip wear.
Yes, that is what she calls it.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't want to feel like we're expecting too much, so I'm gonna go like this.
Echo wears the same thing they always
So
wear.
maple syrup, like very formal, like
Extra-
cocktail party,
Yeah.
like coveralls.
I'll match Spice in a gentleman's tuxedo.
Okay, a gentleman's tuxedo. Can you describe it as different than a normal tuxedo?
It's got
Well-
extra big lapels.
Like tails.
One big
three
lapel, one
tails.
small
yeah.
lapel, so you don't show anybody
One
up. You know?
lapel.
French cuffs.
Yes, all of those.
Okay. Oh wow! 8 lapels.
Sophie, did you hear that?
No, just
man.
like a normal.
Okay, no problem. Nice tux. Shade, what about you?
I'm going to have fixed myself to, not have open wounds and circuitry just sticking out. And then good old Mosaic Team 5 issued and upgraded. Which one? Whatever either the flight suit or the S-Dex, whichever one I have.
Wait, don't forget, we need our sashes.
Oh yeah, she'll throw on her.
Oh yeah, and the
sash.
sash.
Okay, as diplomatic sashes.
Gibbs
no
is
problem.
extra wrinkled.
Yeah, oh, of course. And even without like the actual process of wrinkling, when you put it on, it kind of like scrunches a little bit, like it's becoming.
These are the
wrinkled.
white ones, right?
Yeah.
Gibbs is not white.
Yeah.
And since Gibbs woke
Gibbs
up
is like-
almost actively more than you've ever seen, like the environment is reacting to
Hey,
Gibbs.
you're a black belt.
But yeah, you all make your way into the elevator and then down. And as you step out front, you can see, looking a little bit more awake, Wesley.
Wesley Snipes.
Yeah, that's it. In the year 2250, Wesley Snipes is all that stands between crime and
And roll for initiative.
I know what you mean.
It's Wesley
The
Snipes.
IRS.
Roll a natural 20 on a joke roll.
I did.
What is wrong with you?
Yeah, but what did he get though?
I got a 20.
Wesley looks at all of you and goes, "All right, Mosaic. Oh, that's interesting.
We like conference rooms. Did you get the memo from Peep?
Well, wouldn't you guys kind of like to match?"
No.
That's not how
right.
we roll.
Tiny sandwiches?
Noted. We can send for some tiny sandwiches. You all know that you're having the opportunity to meet the Admiral right now, right?
What?
Admiral who?
Admiral Woe, the leader of the Pacific Fleet, one of the most influential military people in the entire United Solari Republic,
Is this a
the
USR
captain
guy?
of the USR Manhattan.
No, you didn't really like tell us what it was about last night, so this is how we roll in with it.
Well, look, it wasn't official until last night, but you're all going to be receiving the Republic's Defense Medal for Valor. You've helped us out in quite a few ways.
Is this for what happened on the Tony Express or our recent exploits?
The Admiral said he'd have some questions about the Tony Express, but I believe it has to do with the Hollow Husk and your work within.
Perhaps we should take a few more moments to prepare ourselves.
I think that would be a wise idea. Kind of steps back.
Spice looks around and is like, you need to get dressed. What are you doing?
Just put on the Mosaic stuff.
Hold on 1 second. Is there a fountain nearby?
Yeah. So Gibbs runs over and just dives up, and it's like, I imagine anime dive and then just splash, and it, like, you go in, the whole
have to match
fountain,
hers.
like an oil slick, just maple syrup across the top.
I worked so hard for this maple syrup, and I'm losing
little
it.
bugs come out, little wrappers, some candy.
Put it
Wait,
back
I need
in
that.
the bucket for later.
Yeah, no problem.
Cool. I come out the cleaner version of Gibbs, and I put on the version of the vest with less pockets.
Okay. A semi-appropriate number of pockets.
Yeah.
How's everyone else? What's our, like... We're clean now.
You're
right?
all clean. It really is just
We
like
look
you,
like just, yeah.
No, let's
your
all
two
match.
androids just look like you're in like workwear, and everybody else looks like they're a little, well,
I got my,
to you guys, Gibbs
I got
looks
my
very formal.
uniform on.
I'm formal. I'm
Okay,
good.
yeah, no problem.
The Mosaic.
It was
Yeah.
definitely like those comments were directed towards Gibbs for
We,
sure.
I fixed it.
do we still have our fancy wear from before?
Yeah,
That's what Gibbs is wearing.
Which one?
It was
Spice is wearing hers now. Gibbs is wearing their fancy vest right now. Bubbles has several different fancy attire outfits.
Oh. You want to borrow some of my fancy wear? I don't... Do I have multiple fancy wares too? I feel like I didn't ever have any fancy wares.
Yeah, you did. So
I had
you
the
guys-
one fancy wear.
Yes.
It's
Some
like
of
a
you
pure
have acquired
child
them.
asking his parents, "Am I gonna look good for the meeting?"
I don't know.
Mom?"
Androids don't really
What should I
usually
wear?
go with fancy
Spice
wear.
like pulls
so...
a comb out of nowhere and is like, "Let me help." And she like flips Shade's hair around, parts it in a
is.
different spot.
Is your
It's like
hair
steel. Steel wool.
too? Oh.
Let me help you.
Bubs is a little jealous of the attentions because he doesn't have hair.
Here, let me help you.
I am.
Let me help you.
No.
And it Gibbs definitely has extras of things.
We're all wearing the
so-
same color, right?
Yeah, we're in like Mosaic Team
Yeah, we're all
5
wearing the same
wear.
Mosaic
Red,
color.
black.
No, not red.
Brown
We're wearing the
neutral.
red.
We're all
Mosaic
bipedal
Team
humans.
5.
Okay, so
I
blue.
feel like
You guys are going
it's
shades
a
of blue.
moot point. We're just
Yeah.
we're all just
At least we're all clean.
yeah. I feel like that's what can be expected,
We're a team.
and you know,
You definitely look like you're together. I'll put it that way.
All right,
So you
there we
all
go.
you all make your way
The
out.
sashes tie us together, guys.
yeah.
That's
You
the
can
outfit.
see you can see Wesley looks at all of you and just kind of nods and then says, "All right, well, we better be off." Makes his way into the car. There are two cars, one of which he gets into, one of which you can see a very tired looking Justine Clark behind the wheel of. Are you guys
She's not asleep.
No, she's awake.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just as bad as drunk driving. So I guess we should all pile into this one car and not separate ourselves. I'll sit on your lap. Don't worry.
Okay.
All right.
We literally
You can
decided
see
not to separate
Wesley
ourselves.
sighs and then just opens his communicator and goes, "Justine, you can take off early. They're gonna lap up, I guess." Shuts the communicator.
That's the.
Oh, see, that was good though.
You see the car just
Christine gets to take a nap.
pulls off.
I'm for that move. People should be able to take more naps in their
So
work.
there are 3 seats available to the 5 of you. How are you doing this? As you're kind of like looking at the seats, the passenger side window, and he says, "Nobody's being on my lap."
Bubs will offer if Spice.
Yeah, Spice will just pop on. So that's That's 3 seats.
Captain,
Done.
I sit on Spice the Shade's lap.
Wait, you sit on Spice's lap, who was on Bubbles' lap.
It gives just planks in the car.
Okay.
We're just fucking around.
Lieutenant,
Yeah.
do you mind if I meet you there? I might be faster.
Okay, but you can't get in without us, so you'll just be waiting.
That is fine.
Very well.
I do not desire to sit on anyone's lap either.
There's just an open seat now.
What are you called again?
Echo.
Okay. Echo. Sorry, just most have more of... Never mind. Just be careful. There's some dangerous elements out here, and I just don't want anything to happen to you.
Echo, get in the damn car.
Is there a seat available?
Yeah.
There now is.
Yeah, so there's a seat, but it's under Gibbs's paws, kind of, because Gibbs is planking across. But there's an available seat.
I'm kind of small. If that's the one thing, I'll scooch up. I'll
Gibbs's
scrunch.
little paws. Come.
Like retract into their body.
Here's a seat has been opened.
Was that sentimentality about like danger?
Make a sense motive.
What's the fuck's up? Why does this guy care about us?
Units.
He's
Ah,
secretly
nice. A
in
fucking
love with
yeah.
Echo.
33.
He's a military guy whose assignment is to get you to this conference room to
Oh.
receive a medal, and he does not want you to die because that would mean that he failed.
Okay.
Don't worry, we'll kill
He's got
ourselves.
missions too.
And he
Yeah.
has a second job being an Uber driver, and he really wants to keep the car clean.
Never been to Uber driver.
What are you doing?
If the seat is open,
Okay.
Echo will sit. It was purely a seat thing.
Sure.
Echo wanted to sit in their own spot.
The car starts, and you can see he shakes his head a little bit, but pulls out into the street and begins to head in the direction of the landing bay. Give me 1 second here.
That's where the conference room is.
Because we have to go off Prime Station to a satellite for the conference bay.
Okay.
Oh.
I thought it was going to embassy. Okay.
He had said that, right?
No. And so as you're driving, he says, I'm kind of jealous of you guys. The Luray conference room is one of the nicest views in all of Prime Station. And you should have a pretty spectacular view with much of the Pacific Fleet having pulled in.
What does the Pacific Fleet do?
The Pacific Fleet is one of the 2 USR fleets. This is the one that's traditionally a little bit more offensive in nature, but we haven't had much of a need since the Vesk War.
Why did they pull in? It's not because of the pirates' attacks, right?
No, not because of the pirate attacks. We're en route to refueling and refitting, but when a opportunity for Admiral Woe to present an award presented itself, he has a particular interest in you. Again, he said something about the Tony Express. What happened anyways? Heard there was a robbery.
There was a robbery. We attempted to halt the criminal known for recent spring of robberies.
You halted them? I heard they stole a whole bunch of
We
stuff.
attempted to, however, we were unable to, and they escaped. There
Really?
was
But we did save a bunch of people.
Well, that's good.
our priority was to keep the hostages safe.
Excellent. That's a lot of information. You might want to save that for the Admiral. But you pull up to a large, dark building that is primarily, you can see from the kind of overhead spaces, probably like a hangar of some kind, although there's like offices off to one side of it. And that is where you are led to. And there is on the first floor. Oh, sorry.
So when you say hangar, is
Yeah.
there like a place where a ship could pull in?
Like the physical space exists, but the door is no longer there. It's been kind of like built over. So like
It's like a
within there's enough
converted
space.
garage.
Yeah. But you make your way to the first floor, and ahead of you there are signs that you can follow to the Luray conference room. As you pass, there's a point where you kind of turn a corner and along the walls, and you've seen this in other places, there are a number of plaques along the wall with these kind of golden representations of various historic USR ships. And as you go along, some of them are starships, some of them are older, and as you get to this particular conference room, the one that you see outside is unlike anything that you've ever seen before, because it looks like it's maybe a waterborne craft of some kind. Ancient would this technology be? It has sails.
It's a duck boat.
Some sort of boat?
Some kind of
Bullet? I've
But-
never seen a bullet.
The door opens up and you can see Wesley stops probably about 10 feet ahead of this room and kind of nods to all of you. And do you make your way in?
Yeah.
Spice like,
Nothing suspicious thus far, besides everything.
Make a sense motive.
Can I Google really quickly? Infosphere. Is Admiral Woe a veteran of the Vesk War?
Yeah, make a cultures check.
Echo's also going to kind of like watch how people are reacting to like the group coming in.
Make a sense motive check, slightly different.
Yeah, suspicious. I'm just paranoid about everything.
Fair enough.
26.
Okay, 26. With a 26, you pull up your communicator, and as you're in the card, you hear these words. You kind of search for this person. Admiral Calvin Woe, Kalvanwoe, spelled just like it sounds. They're a human in their 60s, and they did serve in the Vesk War. They actually are the they're the captain of the USR Manhattan, which is the flagship of the entire Pacific Fleet. They are in command of a number of USR capital ships, including the USR Pride's Fall, which is a destroyer that served above Akaton during the Vesk War. He is probably most well known. 1 second here. He is probably most well known for leading the defense against a series of bombing runs that occurred over Akaton.
In defense of the bombing runs from the Vest, the bombs from the Vest?
Against the Vesk, yes.
Okay, so he was stopping the Vest from bombing.
Correct.
Okay.
Cool. Screenshot that Wikipedia page and send it off to the group text.
Yeah, you send that off, no problem. 1 second here. I'm going to see if there's anything else that you get with that. Yeah, I mean, you know that they serve underneath the only person higher than them in the entire Navy is Admiral Aeronault, who is the highest ranked officer in the entire Navy. They're in charge. Say again?
Is it High Admiral Aeronaut?
It is.
Aeronaut?
Aeronault. They are directly in charge of what is called Republic Special Warfare Command. They are one of the most influential people in all of this kind of Navy. They actually destroyed 2 Vesk warships in a action known as the Woe Interception, which is where the USR Manhattan and a trio of smaller escorts ambushed and defeated a pair of Vesk warships, accompanying a trio of troop carriers, likely saving Way Station Santa Fe from occupation, which is the closest USR outpost to the Akaton system. So probably intercepted a secondary invasion.
Okay, one more question. Maybe I don't have time. Other recipients of the Defense Medal for Valor, is it other civilian bounty hunters? Like, or are we like, how weird is it that we're being told we're getting this award?
So this award with a 26, give me 1 second. That's a good question.
Yeah.
So the Speaker of the Republic's Defense Medal of Valor,
Okay.
this is something that is awarded to generally people who are part of the United Solar Republic, although not explicitly do you need to be a citizen of the Republic. And it is for one who performs an act that inspires bravery amongst the citizenry of the USR. It's not a military honor, and so as bounty hunters, it makes sense that you would receive this. This is something that, like, you're not eligible for military awards.
Right.
But this is a civic award that is awarded by the military to somebody who's achieved a great feat for the USR. It's a pretty substantial achievement. The number of people who have received this is in the hundreds.
Right.
That's a very small amount in the grand scheme.
Yeah, like that is. I know, right?
about
Like
300 years.
2250.
But, like,
That's a lot of species.
gives us kind of thing like, this is kind of fucked up. Screenshot, send it away. Just being like, this is kind of weird. But it definitely sends it like with a GIF that's just like a weird cat going like me.
Sure. No problem. That little text beep, beep, beep pops up in all of you as the door opens to this conference room, and you can see a human male in his early 60s. This is Calvin Woe. I would say, Gibbs, you saw a picture of them, and they were younger in the picture, and they had more of a full kind of appearance. As you look at them, they're wearing this crisp navy uniform outfit. They have an entire jaw that seems to be mechanical in nature that spreads down to the neck, and the arms as well both seem to be mechanical, although incredibly intricately detailed. The fingers move in a way that is very natural. These are beyond just basic cybernetics, like very integrated into his kind of nervous system itself. Give me 1 second here. And I would say, Gibbs, make a medicine check.
Sure. Love that. 36.
You're seeing around the areas where the metallic parts are anchored to the flesh of his shoulders and neck, there are marks, very small. Most of them have been cosmetically removed, but there are marks that indicate substantial damage from a plasma weapon. And you can see it spreads all the way up to his lower jaw, and so at some point it was likely that he received a plasma blast directly to the chest or neck area. But at the moment, entire jaw, kind of this mechanical apparatus. He stands up from this desk, pushing the kind of seat back, and as he does, behind him, the window, which is this kind of polarized, almost sunglasses looking thing, just shifts, and behind him you can see the USR Manhattan, one of the largest ships in the USR fleet itself, essentially the entire size of Manhattan proper, built into a starship. You can see there are a number of hangar bays, and at first it looks like there are just bits of debris around it, but you recognize, I would say Spice especially, there are 2 fighter squadrons flying patrols kind of in the distance. You also see a carrier, which you identify, Gibbs, as the USR Pride's Fall, the destroyer, the USR David Duchovny, an escort. There are, this is an entire fleet, essentially. This is the Pacific Third Fleet. What was that? So I don't know if you guys have picked up on this, but all destroyers are named after entertainers. So there's been the USR Dolly Parton. There's been the, So there's been a couple of them.
Wait, who's Pride's Fall?
No,
But you could see
David Duchovny.
Oh.
he nods, and as he steps forwards, holding a number of these small plush velvet boxes, because it is 8 o'clock, we'll step aside for a quick break,
Laura!
and then we'll come back for a little award ceremony. Thank you for sticking with us so far. We'll be back in 10 minutes.
Inside the box.
And welcome back
on our
to
list of
Mosaic
things to
Team
avoid.
5. Thank you for sticking with us through the break if you did. Welcome if you're just joining us now. You all, and we'll get right back into Starfinder, you all step forward into the conference room, this impressive display of the Pacific Fleet, these spaceships all kind of taking up and dominating the space outside of the viewport. And standing in front of it is this USR Admiral. You guys okay?
Yeah, I lost my glasses.
This USR Admiral, you can see Mechanical Jaw, who steps forwards holding this plethora of small crushed velvet boxes. And he says, Mosaic Team 5, on behalf of the United Solari Republic, which represents Earth, Mars, the Belt Nexus of Ceres, Vesta and Palus, Europa and Exonautica, I, Calvin Woe, Admiral of the 3rd Pacific Fleet, do, by the power vested in me by Speaker Elamir Yusiko, award each of you the Speaker of the Republic's Defense Medal for Valor. Its gold stars, and it kind of opens one, represents the beating hearts of the Republic, each inspired by you. The blue back represents space and how there is always more to be watchful for. And he passes like the first one over to, who's stepping forward first?
Yes, I would step forward as captain.
He passes it forward to you and taking this box. It's, first of all, heavy. This is like a solid piece of metal. And you can see as you hold it, it's a disc of pure titanium that has been anodized to USR blue on one side. The gold side features the USR Manhattan in relief. And you can see on the back, there is, you actually are holding, well, you are holding the correct medal as it is been engraved with your name, nice. Shade. It has a brushed Starfighter grade steel box underneath this crushed velvet. And so the box itself quite heavy as well. And when the box fully opens, as you like remove the metal, little lights come on. And so this serves as like a display case as well. But this is a very fancy medal. And the date on it is etched, today's date, 04/14/50. But hands that to you, hands one to Bubbles, hands one to Echo, hands one to Spice, hands one to Gibbs.
I do.
You do what?
Accept.
Thank you for
He
the
nods. I can't help but wonder what's next for you guys. But I did have a few questions, if you wouldn't mind.
Yes.
Please. And he kind of like steps back and goes back to the seat, this kind of conference room table with these Navy chairs.
Is there an audience, like,
No,
and cameras and
it is
stuff?
just him and just you.
So there's no cameras? Is this... So there's... This is not being recorded?
You are all standing. Then there's the conference room table. And then he is now seated on the other side. And there is probably 12 chairs that are empty.
Are there any guards or anything?
0.
I'm gonna also sit down. I'll sit down next to Shade.
Okay.
Is there cameras? Like,
Yes, there are cameras.
So is this
Everything's
being
being
publicly
recorded.
broadcast? Like
sorry,
on a
there's
TV
like
station?
cameras, like security cameras.
It's just being
what I assume.
recorded. They'll probably do like a news post or something, but it's low enough that
It's like modern times. Just assume
You can
like-
see he squints his eyes and looks over at you by seeing you like wave and then kind of look around and he says, "Is there a problem?"
No, sir.
All right.
We just expected more publicity. Sorry.
Well, this isn't exactly a public event. After all, there are some questions that I have about the Tony Express, and before going public with this award, we thought it might be best to have those answered. As I said before, I can't help but wonder, before we get into that, what you are all planning on doing next. It seems that you took in the husk of the Hollows, and the PLEA couldn't do that themselves.
well, I believe that after multiple arduous missions, our team has earned a small bit of reprieve.
Of course, you've earned a bit of reprieve. But, from what I can tell from your company, you're all in a substantial amount of debt.
That is correct.
Wouldn't it be nice to just erase that?
Are you offering a gig?
Well, that really depends. And you can see he pulls out this data slate and he on this table. His demeanor hasn't shifted at all. And he says, "Tell me what you see." And he taps it, and instantly popping up on the screen, you see Tony, head spattered across this kind of control panel.
It would appear that Tony did not make it off of the ship.
You can see he squints a little bit at you, And he says, very observant. Maybe something a little bit more useful. You were all on this train when this occurred.
Yes, we were.
So how did this happen?
There was some asteroid activity when we were on the ship. Perhaps there was some collision.
Kelvin, are you asking because you already know the answer?
Well, if I knew the answer, I wouldn't be asking.
This is my fault. It's nothing to do with Mosaic Team 5.
What do you mean?
I mean...
Spice in her mind is like, screams at Gibbs is, we had a fucking team plan.
Yeah, but like...
Excuse me.
Well...
It was... Don't...
Tony, I thought, was colluding with the boarding on people.
Okay. Kind of nods a little bit at you. And so what happened to Tony?
Tony's brain exploded.
You can see he kind of nods a little bit and he says, and did you have something to do with that?
Yeah. Because you'll know.
You know this guy had a son?
Yeah. You know, I had to talk to his son. You know, we gave his son a ride. We saved his son.
His son doesn't know that you guys killed his father.
Not explicitly.
That's sad. He takes the picture back. He says, you know, I think we could probably help each other. There was something very valuable aboard that train that belonged to us, and we need that back.
What was the valuable thing?
A ship, but I think you know that. This ship had technology that is not available to anybody else. And as such, we need to get it back before it falls into the wrong hands.
What's the technology?
Project Cuttlefish.
You can see his eyes narrow a little bit at that, but he says, yes, it's a stealth technology. Something
That's
designed to
cloaking.
make something invisible on instruments and to the eye.
We have encountered this before. Taco XX Black.
His eyes squint significantly more at that. There might be something wrong with your programming, son.
Oh, he's using his gamer tag. The real person was someone who worked for Harbinger. No, for Jacinto. His real name was
Bill Iguana. Yes. Taco. Yes, this is somebody who defected from Jacinto, one of the original designers, in fact.
An early bounty of ours.
Well, then you know a little bit about the capabilities of this project. It's something that we can't risk falling into the wrong hands. We have an idea as to where it went. This is something that is a little bit outside of our jurisdiction. And we need a more... He looks around at all of you, and his eyes kind of settle on Bubbles and then on Spice. Chaotic element to be convincing.
So we'll take this bounty, but it won't be a bounty from you?
It's not a bounty. I believe the individual has a bounty on him, but we don't really care about him. We really need the prototype back.
Where do you suspect that the prototype is?
He takes out another data pad, and he kind of opens it up, and he says, now understand, anything that you hear beyond this point is classified. And failure to keep this information a secret, having this information fall into public hands, or far worse, a hostile actor, would be considered treason against the USR.
Classified, that means we don't say it, right, Spice? Right? We...
As captain of Mosaic Team 5, I will take full responsibility for any leaked information.
He slides this data slate over to you. Okay.
Can I...
Plug your dick into
Yeah.
it.
What do I...
You can just do a little boop. Yeah, no problem. Digital signature.
I don't know how to use a tablet. What?
Wait, the screen's locked. Can you just unlock it again?
too. Seems kind of cold.
For the last couple of years, we've had a problem out in the edge of USR space, just beyond, in fact. For a while, we were able to maintain a watch from a way station El Paso. You might be familiar with it. But unfortunately, the systems that we used on that station are unavailable. You may remember this.
Does he say that with blame?
Yes.
It was also the first place I blew up someone's head.
That's not really
We
what he's
all
alluding
just
to, but
nod.
We don't have to
says-
mention that.
And so does not.
as a result, we have very little idea as to what's going on within the Zin Crawler proper. But the Zin Crawler was originally a USR experimental prospecting platform. It was created with the scrap funds and parts from a canceled USR way station, USR way station Frognot, to work the titanium-rich Zin system, but it didn't really work out. There was minimal titanium past the surface, and when criminal influences moved in, previous USR leadership didn't bat an eye at abandoning the entire project and writing it off. They thought it would fall into a derelict piece, but people have taken it over and kept it running. Recent developments have necessitated that we re-explore the potential for some deeper level titanium mining, and so we figured we can do two birds with one stone. There's an individual who works off of this station. He's an individual who engages in something called lockout.
Yeah, who's that?
It's an individual who goes by Hardcore Henry.
Does Echo have any idea who that is?
In terms of,
Like, having met them?
did you meet Hardcore Henry?
No.
The name has been dropped to us before, but I don't know.
On the bounties
It's more
before.
of the fact of its proximity to their home base.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I mean, that definitely would register with you. So, two birds with one stone. If you are able to find this prototype in whatever way it's been applied or is being taken apart, I would assume, and return that to us, that would be considered a success in and of itself. But if you could dispose of some of the more aggressive criminal elements, say the Carbon Cartel, that would allow us to move in and take the entire platform back, and the USR would be able to forgive a substantial portion of your debt, say all of it.
And if we are to refuse this mission,
Then you refuse the mission. You'll stay several million credits in debt.
How does he know about our debt?
How are you asking that, or how are you wondering that?
he's like the super president.
Spice
It's the super president.
neatly clasps her hands on her lap and goes, "What debt?"
For all of you at Mosaic, you are managed assets, which means that your debt has been bought out by Mosaic Limited, and so we can pay off whatever has been levied against you, provided it's less than 100 million credits.
Is it less than 100 million?
Yes.
Just gotta check.
So
'cause you never
Spices
know.
is like 20, around 20. I don't know what Echoes is.
I think it's
We're probably getting kind of close.
I think it's like 89.
Do we know if Hardcore Henry is involved in the Carbon Cartel?
Make a cultures check. Take a -6 conditional modifier. This isn't something that you directly would know.
Okay.
Can I
Well,
invoke my rarely used knowledge of hotshot pilots and
Yeah, for sure.
ships?
Knowledge check to call knowledge of the criminal underworld?
Yeah, go for it. All these things, yeah.
All these things that I have. That we have?
I got nothing.
I have a dirty 20.
Okay.
Oh shit, my sheet just went away.
With the dirty 20, as you kind of think about, and you're trying to figure out, like,
If Hardcore Henry is connected to the Carbon Cartel somehow.
so you don't know a ton about the Carbon Cartel. You do know that it is a sprawling criminal organization, and in some way, shape, or form, it's involved in many criminal enterprises. Hardcore Henry, you haven't heard of attached to them directly, but it's an illegal lockout ring, and so almost certainly they need to be taking a percentage of it.
Okay.
What was that check?
We might want to wait on mine.
Okay.
Mine was an 18 minus 5 on the DC.
Okay. So effectively a 23. And you're trying to figure out, based on like the history of pilots that you know.
Hardcore Henry is basically what I know about Hardcore Henry.
Sure. So Hardcore Henry is a individual who was placed into a it's a former category of pilot that was basically on probation after they were involved in an incident that resulted in 3 fatalities. Eventually they were banned from lockout when that incident was repeated. They kind of dropped off the map for a while. For a little while, they took up kind of like a low-level criminal. He has charges for larceny, for smuggling, for resisting arrest, and then all of a sudden he pops up on the Zen Crawler. And you don't really get much in the sense of like more than that, but what you really know, kind of now like thinking about that and looking it up, this is somebody who has almost risen to this point of prominence here. He's a celebrity on the Zen Crawler. He is a very successful lockout pilot. And I think that's probably what you would get. Cool. Natural 20.
Oh, girl. Say it louder for the people in the back. Don't whisper that.
I feel like that was
Loud and proud.
Okay.
just hate.
Understated, subtle, very classy.
Thank you. I'm going to go spike a ball in the corner later and do a dance.
So, thinking about the Zen Crawler, this is something that you know. The Carbon Cartel has several factions, each of which sort of makes up its own. Give me 1 second here. Its own kind of. So basically, they work as cells. There is one faction. Give me 1 second here.
Just for lockout.
No, so there is. It's not really for lockout. So there are several lockout teams, and actually, with a natural 20, you get the sense that probably about half of them are in one way or another affiliated with the Carbon Cartel. There are other individuals who come in as like pirates. There are kind of like groups of teams of people who. Usually, like actually, a lot of ex-GPF pilots, pretty common secondary stop. There are a large number of Vesk who are flying ships out in this region, and so that also very uncommon.
It's close to their homeworld, correct?
It is close to the Veskarium, yeah. It's right on the edge of kind of USR space. You give me 1 second. And what are you trying to ascertain?
Like the presence, the size of presence of Carbon Cartel and Hardcore Henry's potential connection to them.
Sure. So when you think about like numbers, the Zen Crawler only houses full-time about 20,000 people. There are probably several hundred members of the Carbon Cartel, all told throughout, in different levels. This is probably not somebody where anybody who is very highly placed in the cartel would be. There really isn't a ton of like, outside of the illegal stuff to do, there isn't like, you know, beautiful movie theaters or like places that you can go and live a life of luxury. There are bars, certainly.
It's called the Crawler.
The bar at the end of the universe is a very well-known one for criminals and things like that. There are quite a few things there that you can do, but for higher level people in the cartel, they're not there. I would say that's kind of what you know.
But Hardcore Henry not affiliated with the Carbon Cartel.
Affiliated in that he probably buys supplies for them, and if he's successful, they probably have a vested interest in him staying successful. And so, while he may not be directly connected,
Symbiotic relationship.
almost certainly.
I know this might be above my pay grade, but why does the USR have a sudden interest in steel?
Titanium,
Titanium.
actually. There's been an increased demand for starship parts and for construction. After the way station projects fell apart a couple decades ago, really, there wasn't really a need to expand. But I don't know if you've been to Earth in the past 100 years or so. Things aren't looking super good there, and we need more space.
Can I do a sense motive on that?
Yeah.
I don't believe that. That's an 18.
The way he rolls his dice.
It's all in the elbow.
Dab.
4. So 22.
Cradle it and then like.
With a 22, you think back to like your history of the world. You know, and for a moment, like a single thread ignites in your memory that really brings you back to the very basic lessons that you learned, not from the Safe Haven program, but from like Steel, talking about old Earth stuff. Yeah. And back in the 2030s, there was an outbreak of something called Malaria F. Yeah. This is something that escaped a laboratory, rapidly infected parts of the world. Yeah. Climate change at this point had already warmed the planet by about 2 degrees Fahrenheit from where it is today in 2024? Yeah. This is a pretty significant shift. At that point, most of the Middle East, Australia, and Africa plunged into drought, and that was 200 years ago. When you think about things that are a little bit more present day, the Second Cold War ended in 2170 because the entire GDP of the Earth collapsed to about 20% of what it is right now.
And that's called was that the human recollection? What is it called?
What year was Wall-E 2 released?
Wall-E 2. 2034.
2034? Damn, okay.
That was the human.
Coming
that
up
second Cold War was the human. I forget the word for it.
So the Second Cold War was initiated right around 2100. The population shrank to about 2.5 billion on Earth. Air was above safe levels through most of the planet. Diseases had been cured, but medical prices were out of the range of pretty much everybody. Pollution, plague, famine, drought, and heat basically caused ocean levels to rise about 10 feet above where they are now. About a third of the Earth's major cities are underwater at this point. The power plants, the ports, the Navy bases plunging beneath the ocean, really causing increasingly acidic seas. This is what provoked that Cold War, this resource need. So even 150 years ago, there was a war occurring because of this. The only thing that changed that was in 2180, there was first contact established between Jacinto and the Lashunta, a psychically gifted race that really allowed the humans to connect with the rest of the galaxy and join the galactic stage. That is the only thing that probably prevented the Second Cold War. After that, the Unification War began. That's when basically everybody in the Solari system decided, well, the Earth representatives at that point, really representing a number of different nations, came together and created a unified government, went beyond Earth and forced everybody else to accept that. Mars, some cities in the asteroid belt, Palus, Exonautica, which is on a moon of Saturn, I believe. All these places kind of crushed in this crusade, and then united behind the United Solari Republic banner. Okay. And so this absolutely is true. This, without even him saying it, without any implication of this story that has occurred in this campaign, this is true. Okay. This is a fundamental truth of the human race.
Okay. But so
and it's really sad.
He'll think that's okay. That checks.
It's based off of CDC models.
And he'll focus back his attention on the conversation about Hardcore Henry, and he'll just quick group chat the group and reveal information. I mean, he'll say it out loud too. It doesn't matter. Hardcore Henry. Wasn't his first name Henry? Or Henry? Isn't his full name Henry Kent?
A long time ago it was, but he doesn't really use that anymore.
How do you know that?
Well, because everybody calls him Hardcore Henry. If
no, not you. Sorry.
You guys had received a bounty puck with his information. I believe it had his aliases. One of them was Henry Kent.
And then the second information, when we got it, was a drunk person who was having a conversation with me and Spice on the Tony Express when we were just talking with drunk people.
Oh, that's right. He had just come.
Yeah. I love that character. I love drunk.
There was so much detail you could have learned from that character.
Yeah, he was a resource that died, or whatever. We let go.
No, he's still alive.
Is he?
We saved him.
We saved him. He's the one who pooped in the... No.
Anyway.
I mean, we gotta talk to our mission coordinator and then confirm with you. We'll just send you an email.
I'll pass along my secretary's information.
Cool.
We'll be in touch.
Very
It's
good.
very likely that we'll take this mission.
I would recommend it. Personally, you don't get an opportunity to completely wipe out your dead every day. And from there, you can do whatever you want.
Spice is going to abruptly get up and look out the window to view things.
Okay.
And make it look like she's thinking.
What are you actually doing?
I want to look out the fucking view.
Make a perception check.
I recognize too many fucking ships, and she's starting to get swept away in the oceans. Natural 20!
So out the window,
Oh, heavy ass dice, too!
you can see that this is the, give me a second.
Damn! That was a good one for Spice! Alright.
You said no redlining tonight. Apologize to Talons.
So the 3rd Pacific Fleet, this is the entirety of the 3rd Pacific Fleet, which during the Vesk War was used in an offensive capacity. The 3rd, 7th, and 8th Fleets of the Pacific Fleet are all offensive wings of the USR. The Atlantic Fleet, and this is a carryover from an ancient military structure that comes from something that is called the United States. I know, pretty gross. But and actually, at a certain point, the United States fractures into 3 and then eventually had to unify under the USR
Divided
Is
government.
it just
States?
one in like Texas, the rest of the United States, and California?
So, hang on.
This is going to be very important in the game.
Well, I want to know how Joe's imagining the United
what
States
is
fracture.
fractured?
Gibbs has no vested interest, but
So so right after the Second Cold War broke out, the United States of America splits into the Western Commonwealth, the United States of America, and then the mighty Confederation of Free States. And you can kind of guess which are which. But that is the way that it breaks up prior to the Age of Expansion.
And
beginning.
Alaska gets absorbed by Canada.
Alaska's underwater.
Yeah, let's get
So it gets absorbed by the sea.
Yeah.
Atlantis.
Yeah.
all right, bunch of ship names now. Somebody else needs to take
Yeah,
notes on it.
what does
Spice.
What you would know about this is that these did not serve above Akaton in the action that you saw.
Okay.
After the events that you kind of underwent that sort of ended your involvement in the war, there was news that there was a huge invasion force coming. Something on the order of 12,000 Vesk soldiers with equipment, really to lay siege to Akaton proper. This was going to be an almost unwinnable fight. And then they never arrived. And a couple months later, it came out that this individual, Admiral Calvin Woe, led a borderline suicidal ambush that ended up wiping out this group. They lost a number of forces in the attack. I would say with a natural 20, you probably heard that in direct combat with one of the captains of the Vesk, a plasma rifle misfired in his hands and tore away his entire jaw and chest structure. He was presumed dead for a long time. There was a lot of resources poured into rebuilding him, and he's gone on to be like this hero of the Republic. He's almost, for you, that would make him better because the GPF hate this guy. This is the guy that like came in and saved all of them and kind of made the USR the victors of the Vesk War. Despite the fact that they were on the same side, it's always kind of been played into history as like the USR won. And so, yeah.
And allies.
Yeah. That's the draw help.
I feel like Spice, now that she realized that, she didn't get up because like she wanted to look out the window. She got up because she's holding back tears and she doesn't want to like have her team or like the cameras or whatever see her fucking tearing up while she looks out the window.
And so you look out and you can see this ship, and this is like, you can see it's been repaired many times probably since those battles, but there are absolutely still scars on it that are from Vesk weapons. I mean, this is a ship that's seen battle for sure. But he kind of nods to all of you, and if you want, you can make your way out of the conference room.
No.
No? Okay.
Nope. Spice doesn't have words because she's too afraid that her voice is gonna shake. So she reaches out with her Lashunta telepathicness to the human and she goes, "Thank you." And then that's it. And then she'll...
Interestingly, it is almost like that telepathy, when it reaches a certain point near him, just disappears.
Oh, so he doesn't react?
It's less that and more as if there is something on his person that is actively keeping him protected from telepathy.
Oh, interesting. So then I think she like visibly, because she's obviously a Lashunta, she like nods in his direction and then will say out loud, "Thank you," and like he can probably see that she's been crying out while looking out the window.
So Spice turns around. She kind of like stood up and like, was looking out the window and then turning back, just tears. And you can see Spice. Everybody's like relatively. It's been like a pretty quiet evening. You guys have exchanged information now, and he's kind of like nodding to you all. And then Spice turns around, just weeping, and just says thank you. And he nods and just goes, "You're welcome."
Commander Wesley said it was a view, like such a nice view. It is really so many ships.
Well,
Metal.
the USR Manhattan is the pride of the entire Navy, and so many people are. He looks at Spice, overcome with emotion when they see it.
Yep, really cool ships. You're super cool, guy. Nice job.
You can go now.
Okay, thanks. I will run up and grab Spices by the hand.
Okay.
We will rendezvous with our mission coordinator and then set out as quickly as possible to the Zing Crawler.
Very well. I would say if you plan on taking this mission, we will pour our resources behind you because this will require you going in undercover. Have you ever done that before?
Have you ever heard of Donna Valentine?
Flashbacks to hot pants.
I have not.
That's because we were so undercover, you never even heard of her.
Well, great. All due respect. We'll have our intelligence division work with you to draft up some new identities and create some believable names. Donna Valentine, really?
Yes.
This is a guy named Admiral Woe, by the way.
Right.
But he kind of nods and says, very well. He's going to actually pull out his communicator and he is going to go over to you, Shade. And he is going to send you a contact. Do you accept it?
It's his Snapchat.
Okay, yeah, it's his Snapchat. It's his private Snap. Premium
Oh wait,
Snap.
not that one.
Is that?
This is to the USR Identity Division's
Woey Herney.
Crime Technician DFJ.
Crime Tech DFJ.
Yeah.
What was the division?
They're from the Identity Division.
Yes.
Identity
Department
Division.
of Fiction.
You may want to think about some of these details ahead of time, but they will likely need a name, a planet of origin, a birth date, an occupation, along with a fictional employer. We'll likely need to create a fictional social media handle and populate it with events.
Is there any information about the social structure on the Zing Crawler that may assist us with this?
If you do end up taking this mission, we'll provide a full briefing.
Very well.
And additionally, do you all possess starships
We have
appropriate for lockout?
No.
No.
We'll need to discuss a way of obtaining you. How many? You have 5?
Mosaic Team 5.
We have an idea as to where we might be able to obtain 5 starships. However, they can't be of legitimate USR design. That would raise some suspicion. But we'll review these details once you formally accept it.
very well. We will get in touch with our mission coordinator and then respond.
He nods, and the door opens. You can see Commander Wesley just a little bit beyond, sort of waiting for all of you.
I'm gonna shake his hand, and
When you shake his hand, one thing that you do note is this is entirely mechanical. And again, you can see like the metal fingers, but this is, despite the fact that it looks delicate and organic and very like intricately crafted, there is a grip to this that tells you that it could be used as a combat application as well, for sure.
Bub's just gonna say, thank you for serving the USR and all of, various people out there who are looking for order.
You're Steele's kid, the detective, right?
Yeah,
He left something for you after we used him as part of a background check. Just a second. And he goes back to the desk and pulls out this, like, it's a paper bag. And you can tell it actually is almost certainly from Steele because it has, like, the brand of fast food that he normally gets on it. It's greasy. And he would, like, save these bags and reuse them.
Yeah,
Almost certainly. This is legitimately from Steele. And so he slides this over to you, and he says, pretty fancy, considering it's a detective, and slides it across to you.
Bubs will open and look at it.
Kind of pulling the paper apart and peeking in, there is a glow that is familiar to something that you once saw Gibbs actually in possession of. This is an ability crystal.
Oh, fuck, man. Holy shit. Holy... What?
In a fucking Macker's bag.
Yeah, literally. This is Dorothy's bag. And this is an ability crystal. You know that interacting with it in some way will allow you to communicate or commune with a hero of some kind of their essence trapped within this. And this will likely enable you to perhaps learn some new ability. From a mechanical standpoint, Dan, you've wanted to change some abilities a little bit. So when you interact with this crystal, you will be able to make that subclass change.
Yes, nice.
Interesting.
Bubs is just gonna say,
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it is nice of him. I know we might do this mission for you. We might not. But, I've just, maybe I just, as an ordinary citizen, I'm just saying that something's happening out there in space. I don't know what's going on. And I can't figure it out, but I don't know. I'm scared.
Make a diplomacy check.
and I want to watch his face when I see that.
Sure.
Because I want to see if his reaction changes. That's a 5. Plus.
He turns away from you.
He turns to his window and starts crying.
He turns to the window. He turns,
Once a day reroll.
go for it. Go for it.
Yeah.
Good use. Good use.
That's just not great.
That's
8
6?
He's a grown man. He's talking like a fucking 12-year-old who
8
just
plus
saw his
7.
hero.
Clasps his hands behind his back and spins on his heel, looking out the window now, very military style. So you can't see him. You can't really make out his facial features. And you could hear him say, "There's always danger out there. That's why there's people like me, to keep people like you safe."
It's okay if you're scared. I'm scared too sometimes. Do you want to hold my hand?
Yeah, sure.
And
I am
Bubs.
sure the Admiral has important business.
Let's return to Peep.
Bubs
He's just like staring out the window now.
gives his hand and he'll walk off.
Okay.
I've got Spice and Gibbs, or Spice
Well,
and
I
Buzz
wanna-
now.
As you guys take steps, it's almost like when you have a little kid. Gibbs like swings away, like feet off the ground for a little bit.
I'm scared too. Don't worry about it.
You
Don't
make
think about
way
your
out.
feelings.
No problem. Into the hallway. Commander Wesley at this point would just kind of say, "Do you need any further escort or a ride or anything like that?"
We will be meeting up with our mission coordinator.
Can we still use the hotel rooms?
Yes, they're yours to use as long as you need them.
I'm gonna ask Peep to meet us at the ship.
Okay. You send Peep a message, to which
Say, just finished meeting with Admiral Woe, returning to ship.
Shade, you have a communication incoming from Peep. Shade, the holograph appears to you and only you, and you can see Peep a little flickerier than usual. And Peep says, "Shade, sorry, I can see that you're going to message me, but we're about to drop into the drift. What's going on?"
Have you already left Prime Station?
Yeah, there's a project that I guess I'm being called into, some kind of a new Mosaic facility. I don't know if this has something to do with our promotion or what, but we might be getting our own base. I don't want to say too much. I don't want to make people too excited. But yeah, I'm just going to see what this is all about.
I was going to meet with you for our next mission.
Oh, that's okay. I mean, there might be a little static, but we can do that now. Give me 1 second. And you could see like things move around, and you could hear somebody just go, "Hey," and people just go, I'm sorry. He pulls this out, and you can see like you hear shuffling as he goes by. You hear multiple voices. It sounds like he is on a commercial flight of some kind, which is unusual. But you hear like the sound of ding ding, and then occupied, and then several other languages scroll beyond that. But you can hear Peep just go, "Okay, I'm in the bathroom. We should plan or make
Is this a
some.
safe channel, though?
We should make some really basic plans about what you're gonna do next. Do you guys have any ideas or anything you want to do?"
We will be going after Hardcore Henry.
That's the Zen Crawler guy.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. That's a good bounty.
The bounty is merely pretext.
Oh, I don't like that.
Admiral Woe has propositioned us to clear the Zing crawler.
Admiral Calvin Woe?
Correct.
Of the USR?
Yes.
I mean, that's great. Yeah, we should do that. Whatever it is.
We are to retrieve a prototype from...
Didn't we do that already?
Not
Correct.
successfully.
This is the same prototype, Project Cuttlefish.
Why do we have to get it again?
It
Jacinto
has
keeps
fallen
losing
into
stuff.
the hands of Hardcore Henry, based on information that the USR has given us. They've tasked us with retrieving it and, if possible, clearing out some of the more nefarious parts of the Zing crawler.
How are you going to
Particularly-
do that? You're bounty hunters. They're going to see you coming from a mile away.
They have offered to absolve us of all debt.
That's amazing.
Tell them about the identities. Tell them about the identities.
Are you with Gibbs right now?
Tell them about the identities.
All
Can
of
you-
us are in the background.
And we're only hearing the half of it.
Yeah, we're like Spice will like peer into the. Oh my
Tell
god, Pete,
Gibbs
you
just
have a
to-
beard?
Tell,
It's like in my eye.
Oh,
you can hear he kind of like is looking behind you, but it's in your eye, so you can't really see anything. And he just goes, can you just tell Gibbs to remember to register to vote? The upcoming primary for Rat King is coming up, and she probably wants to be involved.
Yes!
Gibbs,
Yes.
Peep tells you to remember to vote.
Yes. Okay. Can you tell them about the identities?
We are going to be in contact with the identity department of the USR. Technician,
So you guys are going undercover?
correct.
Oh no. Okay. Once you figure out a little bit more, we'll have to make sure. I'm gonna have to go with you guys. Oh, by the universe. This is terrible. This is the worst thing that could possibly happen. I just got a promotion. Things were going so well, and I was gonna.
It may be better for you to stay off of this mission.
I would love nothing more than to stay off this mission, but the last time that we went undercover, I do want to remind you, you added a substantial amount to your debt when we sunk resources into establishing identities, which you ruined the first day. That can't happen again. And to make matters worse, this isn't a resort world. This is a criminal city? I don't even know what to call it.
All the more reason that you should not join us. If we make another mistake, you should not be there. I will take responsibility.
Make a diplomacy check.
Identities.
I ate a hot dog my first day. You grabbed a casino.
I'm gonna use my reroll.
yeah, but as Donna.
Oh wait, actually, I might have another. I might have a new feature for this.
Okay.
I gotta check though.
Yeah.
I might have a child.
Did you get the?
No, I think I'm taking it next next level.
Oh,
Take
you-
your reroll.
No. That's an okay reroll. It's better than the one that I had.
Yeah.
Diplomacy. 19.
I don't like this, but maybe you're right. I have really fragile bones and it's rough there. And I probably can't get any sandwiches. All right, Shade, I'm trusting you with this, but I'm a little bit concerned. Gibbs said you fired her, and you can't really fire anybody. I mean, you can demote
not
people and
fire
promote
Gibbs.
them,
He fired me.
but just that's generally not great for team morale.
I revoked some of her privileges. Given some of the recent happenings, I feel it was justified.
Okay, well, just make sure that you submit your reports, and we'll figure out all the appropriate administrative actions to take. But we don't have any more medical officers to send. You guys are kind of on your own. I would send Vess, but his dad said no. And his dad's really scary and really, really rich.
Hear that, bitch? I'm all you get.
I always get rid of this last week. Is Rose with you?
Very well.
Okay, peep out.
Love you.
Communicate.
What did he say? Did he say it was good?
People
Is the
not be
lieutenant
joining
just
us.
standing right here too?
No, you went ahead to the
we're-
car, and so
yeah.
presumably he's waiting for you guys.
Oh. I thought we had gotten back to the ship.
Then you guys are all standing outside the car, and he's waiting on the inside.
I thought we were getting back to the ship.
Yeah, I could say.
Yeah.
Whatever, we're going
we
back to the
sorted
hotel.
Sure.
Yeah.
So
Well,
you
we're going
guys,
back to the
this
ship
brief
now.
conversation happens with all of you like piling in around the seats, and you guys are like lapped up as well, and so it's a little bit tight, but you make your way back to the ship. Wesley kind of waves to you as you're like still on the phone, make your way off, and you can return, no problem.
What did he
just
say? He
lost
said good? He said we were good and we're going to take this mission and we're going to clear our debts and we're going to...
People be remaining off of this mission. It is too dangerous for him to join us physically.
That's fine. Like,
We are going after Hardcore Henry. That is our bounty. However, our true objective will be to assist the USR in retrieving Project Cuttlefish, as well as clearing out any of the potential more nefarious members, if possible, on the Zing Crawler.
so if we can just do what we did to Suzitsu, to this place...
Governor Sitsu.
Yeah.
We had allies though, with Sitsu.
That is why we are going undercover, and we will need to maintain our cover.
Didn't we just discuss that we're keeping this all between us 5? Doesn't that kind of... Why are you giving me that
You guys
face?
are walking up the ramp to the ship now? Okay. You make your way onto the ship.
So, like, we're going to go undercover, right? And we need to do the thing for the USR. And you're of particular interest to the Carbon Cartel. And we've got lots of activities to do. And so there's no one we really need to lie to, but we just need to stay focused and do what we did with Governor Sitsu. Use the resources we have.
This situation is different than the one with Governor Sitsu.
It's kind of more shitty.
Yeah, because Mari and me got there.
That's true.
We will be entering an extremely dangerous area with many people who do not hold high regard for us already. It is imperative that we keep our covers as much as possible until we learn more once we get there.
Can...
Echo, are you thinking anything at this point?
I will mention, it might be difficult for me to maintain cover in this region.
Why?
Karache was my base of operations.
What's Garache?
It is the moon that orbits Sin, which is the planet that the Zin Crawler is based off of.
You might not have more difficulty than Spice, who's like Carbon Cartel $20 million debt.
True. But it is easier to hide from one's enemies than one's friends.
You have friends.
Why are you surprised?
Well, took us a while to warm up to each other.
You are my co-workers.
Aww.
I'm your friend! I earned that! I've been trying so fucking hard!
But we can't use them because you would blow your cover, right?
It is true.
So, you're gonna go in there undercover and be able to maintain it, or we're gonna stay flexy?
Or are we gonna reach out to your allies that are there first before we even get there? You tell me.
I might have some connection to the lockout tournaments.
That's a start.
I used to have a room with a mechanic who would frequently receive customers from the lockout tournaments whose ships needed repairing. I do not know if they are in business anymore, however. It has been some time.
Perhaps you could reach out to them discreetly.
And then we'll just, add a green light filter to your eyes and you'll be Dreco, the droid.
In the meantime, we'll meet up with the identity department, see what they can provide, find out any more information that we can from the USR when we accept the mission. Then we'll make a plan from there.
Yes, Captain.
You think they have tracking on the cuttlefish?
If they had tracking, they would know exactly where.
Yeah.
It is likely that they have some form of surveillance.
We're on the ship now, correct?
Correct.
Director.
You?
Is that an echo?
No, Echo kind of like looks around.
Considering who absconded with the cuttlefish, I think it is safe to assume that trekking has been disabled.
Do you still think that 899 still has the ship in their possession?
I do not know.
Based on the USR info, it seems as if it has been offloaded to Hardcore Henry.
Does that mean 899 is working with Hardcore Henry?
Well,
It could mean that 899 simply sold it to someone else
and our
to further their own goals.
in our recent intelligence that we got from Wesley Dorian, told us about an upcoming mission that they wanted us to do before we went to the Husk. They said in 3 days there was a ship called the U.S. Tango that was going to be taken off, and they believed that it was possibly a target from a target that 899 would strike at.
Okay.
To when?
Till the US Tango departing.
I believe I sent a message to the director to set a countdown. It's been 2 days of leaving the house.
Yeah, I've been
so
keeping
it's-
track
I think
of
it's
it
3 days.
For
That's
how
my
long we've
guess.
been in the
Hold on.
Husk.
I think it passed.
So we're gonna set a trap for
It has been,
899?
It's been 5
it has been
days.
6 days.
Damn.
Yes.
The husk for a while.
I counted at least one from when we were there,
So,
2 in the Husk.
You set the timer on 04:07:50, a Friday at 1 a.m. And it is currently 04:13, a Saturday at, well, no, sorry. It is 04:14. We begin the session at 11:55 p.m. on 04:13.
Director, what the fuck? You were supposed to tell me.
But the Husk is like a time lord.
Hit snooze.
It's probably probably I forgot about that, but probably the first time you walked onto the ship with Shade, you got like a little blip that was like the timer has gone off. The timer has left.
24.
It's been beep, 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 beep.
Speak's been like,
The past,
Okay, so
kill me.
So to recoup with this information that I have, Bubs is probably just gonna be like, oh wait, I guess the ship is already taken off. And
was it stolen from?
I was Can I like info spear if there's been any?
Make an info spirit check, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I've had to bring up so many old sessions here.
Bubs is killing it.
Dan's notes
Yeah.
are
Investigation time.
8 plus.
immaculate
what am I doing,
notes.
Joe?
Say again.
What am I doing? 8 plus.
This is a cultures check, or sorry, info spirit. So you can use your bounty hunter feature if you want.
Ooh, yes I will. 8 plus 11 is 19. That was a fun voice.
So it is the 14th. And as you look, you can see that the USR Tango is currently shipping the relief for a prison guard shift. And so this is, like, why would you rob that? But that is something that is due into its destination on the 16th. And so you won't really hear anything about it unless it doesn't show up, probably. And so that's 2 days away.
Okay, brain caught up. Has Echo made many deliveries to the Zen Crawler, or not really?
2 or 3. You've been there. It's not
Not enough to be familiar with the area. but,
Correct.
like, enough
Correct.
to just know of it.
Yeah, and I would say you don't use to get in. You probably wouldn't use a traditional docking bay because those are very expensive to use. There's a lot of protection fees to pay. You can enter in through an exhaust shaft that is located at one of the feet, provided you can get there while it's planted on the ground. And there's a little bit of timing and a little bit of athleticism involved in reaching that point, but that is a way that you know to get in that is a little bit under the radar.
Bubs is real quick. He's gonna finish up the info spear and just say,
Yeah, I guess maybe Wesley had bad info about the ship, or maybe it's still an operation in progress. 899 hasn't striked yet, but Director, will you keep us updated on this?
Very well.
Hey, Echo, could you, when we go meet with the identity theft people, could you help me? I don't think I know enough about what would make a convincing identity, or like a profession, or even like a name.
Keeping elements of truth are important when crafting a false identity. Or so I have read.
I mean, I'm a magical rat. Like,
You are a Yusoki. There are many Yusoki. There are many elements of the criminal underworld related to Yusoki, as are androids. It would not be hard.
Are there any objections to accepting this mission?
Many, but none worth voicing.
That was what? Voice them.
It's dangerous.
It is dangerous. We would be doing the work of the USR for the USR. We would be coming into conflict in an area that we have our least amount of strength in, particularly undercover missions.
We're walking
we are
in the
generally
carbon.
a shock and awe team. We are walking to a place where we have 2 highly known members, and potentially a highly known third.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Who's that?
This is a very dangerous undertaking.
You, Bubs, and Echo. Because he's your boyfriend. Is that who you mean?
Who's the third?
I was speaking about the captain.
What
Why?
do you have to do with Zin?
You were no good at
What I have
lockout.
to do with Zin.
Make a sense motive check.
So Spice like looks between the 2 androids and is like, Echo, what does Jade have to do with Zin?
Ooh. Dirty 20, which is almost the best I can do.
Shade, do you remember back in the space station, there was, or sorry, the space station, in the casino, there was a individual named Red who was a big fan of Lockout, and they reacted very strongly to your face. And part of that was because they had indicated that it had belonged at one point to a pretty well-known illegal lockout racer, for what it's worth. And maybe that's what Echo's talking about.
Who was it? What?
Yeah, okay. I remember.
That's a good pull.
I didn't even remember
That was a dangle for this particular moment, and I dropped it way long ago.
Also,
Nice.
What?
I remember. I don't know. I mean, I kind of brushed this off. I didn't think Lydell knew what he was talking about, but I remember when me and Shade went to drop off the body of Iguana at the Eclipse Mall. Lydell was just talking about how he recognized Shade as some famous lockout pilot or something. I didn't think it was anything, and I mean, I don't know what to make of that.
There's actually a vendor at a store in the Eclipse Mall who also, I believe, had
also in
recognized
addition?
him. There's, now I'm thinking about it. I think there's been 3 or 4 times now.
Is that why you fainted during when we actually played Lockout?
I have looked into this. However, I have not found any results.
But did you ever
outside
actually
the
help him
infosphere.
with his like memory issues? Remember, you were supposed to like have a therapy session, Spice, with your telepathy.
We haven't had a moment.
Be that as it may, this is a potentially dangerous situation for many reasons. So again, the concerns are many. The reasons for objecting are many, but none worth voicing at this time.
I mean, we could just work off the debt. The only thing that the USR has is that I killed Tony.
Can we talk about that for a second? Gibbs, we had a fucking plan. We went over it.
I was alone. You guys were like 40 cabins away with no
I'm not
communication.
saying about what happened on the train. I'm saying what happened literally today. We had a plan, and you literally...
He already knew it. He was just proving to us that he did. There was no point in lying and denying it.
This is a good example of when to use the truth. You were not in that photo.
What?
Yeah.
They've seen me blow up heads every day.
But not there. There was a convincing cover, in that there was asteroid and debris damage in the cabin where Tony, deceased.
He put you into a trap, and you fell for it,
It
and
doesn't
you
matter
put
now.
all of us...
What happened, happened.
I am saying only that this is an opportunity to learn.
I protected you by telling the truth. The truth was that I acted rashly.
Funny, because
and-
I've done that with Echo, and I got so much fucking heat for it.
Your murdering of Tony reflects on the entire crew.
But how come you get to say, I'm gonna
Because
protect you,
I'm
I'm gonna take the
captain.
fall for
As
it?
captain, You are my responsibility.
My actions are
Everything
my
that you
own.
do- yes, but
It affected
also
all of
means
us.
that the
You guys didn't even know
ramifications
about
of those
it.
actions
Only Bubbles
fall
know
on
about it.
us. It is not just you. It is the entire team. And your actions affect all of us.
And I'm recognizing that. And I understand we're on the same team, but when the truth is that I acted
From
alone.
a legal standpoint, as captain, I hold responsibility for your actions.
I believe in this instance, Gibbs was attempting to learn from past mistakes. The truth that she shared was limited and only pertained to the evidence at hand.
Which is why
While
that is
valiant,
not.
perhaps a little misguided and in need of gentle correction.
My intention was not to scold, merely to state, regardless of the actions that were taken against Tony, we should take this mission anyway, is the quickest way to absolve all of our debt. And it is likely that this has something to do with the greater things that are happening. That is the true reason why I accepted this mission.
And this is the reason that the objections are not worth voicing. 899 was last seen in possession of the cuttlefish. If that is still the case, 899 is located on the Zin Crawler. The USR has interest in gaining weaponry and titanium for reasons unknown other than space is fast and dangerous.
There are more reasons than that.
But that is what they shared with us.
What are the other reasons?
From the small point of light in the wall that you can see indicates that the director's presence is here, the director says, yeah, basically, there are trends indicating that there are upward swings in resource expenditure, similar to prior to the Vesk War.
We know the Vesk are gathering.
Space is vast and dangerous has always been true. It will always be true. It does not explain the sudden need in resources.
Well, you convinced me, Echo. If we're gonna do this to, maybe see if 899 is on the moon of Zin, then maybe they are there. But, I don't think they're at the U.S. Tango. And I agree with Shade's point about maybe finding out what's going on here as well. I mean, maybe there is.
That the Zing Crawler will answer most of those questions. Or at least present new ones.
At the very least, we might be able to clear a large amount of debt without the USR's aid.
That's a plus.
How?
Why are you looking at me?
Spice to the Carbon Cartel.
Why must you leap to that conclusion?
Well,
Because you just
looked menacing.
what? Everybody saw you look at me. What was it
From like
about?
Spice's perspective, it was the whir of the world sound, the whoa.
Yeah, I could feel that. What is your plan?
Echo turns the brightness down.
Sorry, I'm not as fast as you. What?
If we meet on the Zin Crawler, any members of the Carbon Cartel or other cartels who hold medallions, we could collect them.
I love that idea, but I don't understand how.
We murder them.
If we happen to run in the Carbon Cartel, we could
Murder them.
yeah.
Or we could, steal too.
Murder them is better.
Yeah, no,
Committed
yeah.
many atrocities. They would not be missed.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I like that idea. I like that idea a lot.
But that doesn't help your debt.
I mean, can't we use my debt as kind of collateral for? Can't we just kind of shift it all around?
The last amount I checked, it would not cover it.
Okay. Yes, it is.
Actually,
Can you Ponzi scheme? No.
The thing is, I mean, that's kind of what it would be, but you would be pulling a Ponzi scheme on on crime. So it would be very hard to scam crime.
We're gonna try to scam the entire
You
criminal
would be
underworld.
scamming crime who is trying to commit a crime with military. That's like, that'd be like,
That is some Inception
not military,
level, high
private
level.
contractors, but yeah.
But back to the conversation.
Yeah, basically.
I mean, it seems like we're all in agreement, but Bubba's gonna look around. Are we all for this?
Yes, team.
It's gonna be so hard to keep you guys alive. Sure.
You ready to die for it?
We have not died yet.
It takes a lot. I've got a bald patch growing on my hip right here. You can't tell, but it's there.
Captain, before we take off, can we at least have some time in Prime Station, or do we have to leave as soon as possible?
I need to go to the primaries. Usually you have to vote in person. I don't know how it works right now. We haven't had an election before.
Can I check Gibbs' registration to make
easy
sure?
enough. And so Gibbs is not registered to vote, as this is the first Racking election. Make a cultures check.
No, I want to register Gibbs. I've never registered to vote. This is an honor.
Cultures check?
Yeah.
9.
Oh, that is
registers.
Can I help?
Racking mayoral primary infosphere site is currently down for maintenance, and so no real information available.
It would appear that the website is currently down.
Well, don't go to the
Make a cultures
website.
check.
And I'm gonna go
Take a
like the
plus 16
social
additional
culture
modifier.
site of all of my friends and family.
Sure.
Voter disenfranchisement. That's what this is.
The DDoS in the sites.
23
Make a
plus
sense motive
6.
check.
Oh my god.
29.
26?
Yeah.
29?
29.
No, you don't have to. 29, Gibbs, with a 29, as you search, you can see all this information about Petrus, and you kind of narrow your search down to Racking proper. And there is only one person running for mayor right now. It's uncontested. There was a lot of speculation that Chesterfield was going to run because they kind of own most of it, but at the last minute, they backed out. And the only person currently running is an individual named Aclima Fresh.
Aklima.
They are running on
hate her.
the platform that they will keep Junk Falls the way it's always been.
Well,
Oh man.
Can I? Are we okay? Yes, bounty. Good things. I gotta go vote.
27.
27. And I'd say finally with that, you do see a number of people are talking about how they're, even though you can vote remotely, they're not going to do it. There's only one person running. And so you get the sense you can vote remotely if you want. There's only one person running. And so voting.
Right. I want to call up Socrates.
Okay.
Slash Tobin,
One
yeah.
second. What was that?
27.
27.
This was a joke comment. I can't
So-
believe I'm rolling for this.
Interestingly enough, there is a
see if
sense
there are
that you
DDoS
get as you hear all this kind of stuff. It's weird that an infosphere site in this day and age would be down for a local, like a tiny little election on this one planet. That is strange. And there's an element of this as you refresh, and every now and then across the day you kind of refresh. Every now and then it will half load, but there's always something wrong with it. And that does strike you, Bubbles, as very suspicious.
Bubs will turn to Gibbs, who's kind of manicky right now. Gibbs, this, I'm looking at the site, and this shouldn't be down. I don't know much about computers. I don't know. Shay, can you take a look?
Can you help?
Does this all track?
Make a computers check.
Bubs always mentioned the DDoS and all.
No, you're just. No, it's 30.
30?
Sorry, 32.
So you go a little bit further. You go into the infosphere companies that really are tracking data migration and how data is moving around, and you see a one-way stream of just information requests that are just 1,000 times a second requesting this website. And this is absolutely a denial of service attack. Much more sophisticated than in today's day and age. This is disguised across multiple different connections that go across the drift, and so it reads as from everywhere that this is coming in. But
wait, what's denial of service?
So the idea is when you
You have
Ari's the
tons
best
of
person to
people-
explain it because this is Ari's job.
you have a server, right? And it's like a doorway. Only a certain amount of people can fit through it. So you've got an average web page that's, let's say 20 people can look at that web page at one time.
Okay.
What you'll do is all of a sudden you'll send busloads and busloads and busloads of people to that one doorway, and they all get jammed in.
So it's like
meaning no one can get in and no one can get out. So it's denying the service
Basically,
of the web page.
freezes up the website.
And
they're
you do
trying
that on
ex-
purpose rather
You
than
overload the web page to
basically
prevent it
just
from
to-
loading. But you also have it accidentally when something get popular in Reddit. People will send links out, and then you'll go click on the link, and the link doesn't load because so many people want that resources. And it's
Okay.
just not scaled that way.
The way that you see this most is when there's a limited edition drop of merchandise or tickets and it sells out right away. You'll sit there and try to reload the page and it won't load. It's because so many people are trying to. This is somebody using machines to artificially request that web page thousands of times a second
didn't
so
realize
that
I had
nobody
it.
can access it. So whoever's doing this does not want people to be able to use this website.
Okay.
That's a lot of red on your command prompt. Can you fix that?
What Bubs is saying is correct.
Can you
Someone
beef
is
up?
actively attempting to keep this site from being functional.
Well, of course. It's the enemies of democracy.
I believe that it's a puppet campaign.
Well, the whole thing is rigged because Socrates isn't on it, and I know at least Tobin would have run. We should have some representation.
Isn't you say
Socrates is
It's on Akaton
on
right
a
now.
different planet.
No, he went to Junk Falls to help them support the election. We dropped him off there. Well,
No, we didn't.
What?
No, he said that he was going to gather some people and go there.
he was
but
supposed to
yeah.
go there.
Then who's taking care of
Did he
Akaton?
say junk fall? I thought he just said elsewhere.
He said he was going to take a group of people, and because you helped them when they needed it, they were going to go help you.
Yeah.
And so they had a number of people who were experienced as fighters because Gibbs had really billed it as like a war was coming. So they probably arrived to what is essentially a campaign trail. And maybe not the best matching skills, but you have some support there.
Eye for an eye.
didn't you say Tiny Tobin was imprisoned?
No, that's Dust. Dust is imprisoned. Tobin is my friend. You met him. Her. Them. I have 3 friends. There was 4 of us. It was Tobin, and it was Dust, and it was Wicket. And we were all together. We were like compadres. And then
Oh, okay. I thought you named out of character. I thought you named Tiny Tobin after Tobin as like a memorization thing.
Yeah. I mean, like
Tiny Tobin is named after Tobin.
who you guys met. That's one of
Yeah, I
Gibbs's
thought you did it
friends.
because
Not Dust,
they were,
though, no.
they were in a prison and
Yeah.
you were like kind of being like,
No.
oh, this is my prison.
No, Dust is who I sent the Nightmare to assure myself that
Okay,
they were
yeah.
alive.
Disregard, I said. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that's okay. So, okay.
I would suggest contacting Nazma to see if he knows anything more about what's happening.
Okay, I need like a day at least. Can I take that?
We will spend 24 hours and then depart from Prime Station. Do with that time what you will, but try to stay discreet. Do not raise any more alarms than need be.
I didn't even hear that.
We are doomed.
We are dignitaries. Dun 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 dun. Hey, I bet these are bugged. Do you think this is bugged? And I just plunge the award into a box of water.
We
Right
have
into the water, the velvet soaks it up, and slowly the blah, 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 blah of air escapes, and it just gets heavier and falls down to the bottom.
Cool.
It's wet.
I'm
It's
gonna leave that
award.
in like a fish tank in my office for like a while.
Sure.
Just to like, if it's bugged, it's not bugged anymore.
babe, did you hear that? We have 24 hours on Prime Station. We could do anything. We could do anything.
That was the only thing I heard, and then my mind just went blank.
Were you thinking about his hole?
Oh, excuse me?
The hole, have you guys seen it yet, or did you pass through it?
Good night, everybody.
You can't just ask about someone's hole.
Well,
I have no idea what you're talking about.
he was born in an alley, and there's like a hole in the alley, isn't there?
That was the Hollow Husk, and we were just there for like a month, it felt like.
You can't just ask someone about their hole.
Oh,
Yes, I've seen it.
well,
To answer your question.
Echo powers down.
okay. So now you're gonna
The
go to
little
date.
blue light goes off.
Gibbs, I think you mean that was an alleyway. It wasn't like my hidey hole or something.
Oh, in my head, I was picturing something different.
And haven't we been there?
Same.
We've been there.
Yeah, you guys have been there.
Sorry.
I'm pretty sure we fucked in it.
Ew.
No, that was just a place that was stuck in my memory. It was nothing important.
Okay.
But I think what I'm trying to say, Spice, is that we could go on another date tonight.
Finally. My God, I've been waiting for this day forever.
Oh my God. Okay. It's gonna be great. I'm
Spice
gonna start
throws
playing.
on the golden shiny dress that she's just been carrying around.
Quick change.
Please practice moderation this time.
Yes, whatever. Heard.
Yes,
Bye.
Captain.
You get 2 very different responses as Bubbles and Spice, in formal wear, just make their way off the ship. So that is their plan. Echo and Gibbs and Shade, what are you three doing?
Echo's gonna start focusing on the mission.
Yeah. Shade's gonna see, about getting some of the
Lame. I
doing
want
some
a
like
side
mission
quest
research,
romance.
contacting.
So this is like now Echo and Shade sitting down at like the kind of communal space table and beginning like the planning process of this mission. So actual work.
Do we still have the the thing that eats items for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have a little drone, and at the moment it's finishing up repairs on your weapon. You
How
imagine.
many UPBs is the metal?
Say what?
How many UPBs is the metal worth?
It's like 50.
Oh.
It's I mean,
Is it better as
like
raw
unloading.
material?
like your
Like
award?
the titanium and stuff
I
from it?
mean, it depends on what you mean by better. It's
Like, is there a more practical use for the titanium and the steel from the box?
like anything really. I mean, you could melt it down into 50 UPBs and use it for anything else.
You also
Yeah.
have the sapphire, not the sapphire crystals,
Siren Sapphire.
what was
We
the
don't
other
have
one?
those. We
No, the
don't
other
have
one.
that.
That's why I'm saying
We
it's the
fucked that
other
so
one that
hard.
you can make armor or a weapon with.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
The time, the
Hor-
time
Horcalcium.
the Horcalcium.
You do have a application of that. Yeah.
Before really sitting into plan, Echo unloads a bit of excess equipment from the husk for and puts it neatly in a line for going up to the drone.
Okay, no problem.
Have I been able to fix the engineering bay? I need to just get
Yeah.
a new one, right?
No, everything is pretty much back up. So Peep had one delivered to you guys.
Cool.
Part of the repairs to your ship was that being installed.
Cool. Okay.
Your turret was the only thing that really was still damaged, and that you imagine by the time that the events of you guys going and doing whatever you're going to do over the next 24 hours, the turret will be finished. It's almost done.
Okay. Then I'll spend the next 24 hours mission planning with Echo and doing any ship not ship repairs but maintenance repairs, stuff like that, and
would
spending
also
some time with Sweet Boy Squeak.
Spend some time with Gibbs, offloading any knowledge they have about infiltration.
Nice. No,
Okay.
Gibbs will sort of suck that up, and then her contribution to the mission planning is in the form of largely a shopping list
Okay.
of trying to identify what people's weakest points are. For Gibbs, it's her armor. So that way Shade can give it to the.
Are you talking about this out loud?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's I'm squishy, I'm gonna die. And so I start writing lists
Gibbs.
of.
The recent success of your team has enabled us to activate another Mosaic facility. If you need supplies, soon this facility will be in operation. I estimate no more than 3 days. Here, you will be able to resupply between missions.
Define Mosaic, please, Director.
I am unable to do that at this time.
So then, not Mosaic LLC.
Correct.
Thank you.
Do you know what the thing that the facility Peeps building is that?
Peep is en route to finish details and to be stationed permanently from this facility,
From what facility?
the Mosaic production facility.
Mosaic production, like a film set, or what?
This is designed to be a refueling station.
Why did they feel the need to rehouse Peep?
Peep has no permanent office and currently exists only in a mobile setting.
Is this sketchy?
Yeah.
Sense motive check.
I was gonna say, I also want to make sense motive check because Echo just confirmed not Mosaic LLC, but also
Sure.
Mosaic and Peep is
Such a
stable.
smart question.
I'm worried about my sweet boy.
Well,
But
they're
I got
also
a
collecting people we
14.
like.
14. Hard to tell.
26.
Ooh, I want to hear this.
With a 26, as your eyes kind of narrow, the blue light of the director shifts towards you and almost seeming to sense this eye squint. The director responds, "Due to the success of your team, you will be increasingly placed at risk, including individuals who are associated with you. As such, I plan on moving Peep to a more secure facility, along with intern Ify, though they are no longer employed properly by Mosaic."
So, director is housing people we care about because they're at risk because of their association to us. It has nothing to do with Mosaic LLC.
Partially
Echo.
correct.
Echo kind of looks over at Shade and says,
Peep sounded thankful and excited for his promotion.
The promotion will allow Peep to assign you missions of your choosing. In addition, this places you above the scrutiny of Senior Mission Coordinator Maxwell I.M.
What?
Is Maxwell at a similar facility? Or is he still a remote worker?
Maxwell currently works with Mosaic Team 1 and serves as their mission coordinator aboard their vessel.
And Mosaic Team 2 doesn't exist? Or, sorry, still exists? Which one doesn't exist?
Mosaic Teams 3 and 4, I believe, do not exist presently. Mosaic Team 4 does. Mosaic Team 1 is pretty much the only one that currently exists and is, like, very well known.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does one of the other teams have a senior mission coordinator and besides Mosaic Team 1?
No.
Okay.
this is not connected to Mosaic LLC.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's directors.
So then why is Peep involved?
Because directors moving people, like...
The director is doing it.
The director's keeping our people either hostage or safe, depending on your perception.
Yeah, but don't we all have different perception on who is our allies and who is not?
No, what I'm saying is so Peep and Efi really recently got a promotion / desk job at Mosaic.
Not Mosaic.
Not Mosaic LLC.
Not the company that we work for,
There was
but the company that we
There was an
work
episode where
for.
Echo looked up the background of this and found out that the ship has something called Mosaic labeled on it, and that is a quantifiable difference.
M.O.S.I.
The dots,
Yeah,
exactly.
it's an abbreviation.
Does Peep know what that
No,
he's
and
not?
we're not going to tell him.
So, but like,
Peep thinks that he got a
where's the
promotion
money coming
within
from?
Mosaic,
then? It's not
the
coming
bounty
from Mosaic
hunting company.
LLC, so it's coming from M.O.
As far as you guys know, the money is coming from Mosaic LLC. All the money in your accounts,
It
that's where it's
seems
coming
as
from.
And
if
that's what
Mosaic
Peep thinks
LLC.
also?
Correct.
Yeah.
Peep
We can
is
talk about
working for
this.
Mosaic
Yeah, we can talk about
LLC.
this later.
Yeah. It's
So, okay.
semantics.
So,
Important semantics.
Yeah.
okay, this new shopping center for Mosaic is
Not
happening.
a shopping center. A resupply depot.
Okay, will the resupply depot include upgrades? Because, like, I don't need same old, I need better.
There is a printing facility that will be enabled to create items of a certain level or below.
Okay, so, Shade, that's 3 days away. Or I go and buy something on the open market or something. Or we tell USR that we need these things.
Is the resupply base en route to the Zen Crawler?
The
Or
resupply
Thorazine?
base is located within the drift.
Oh!
Oh. We don't have.
What are you gonna say, Echo? Say it.
Echo was going to say something. Me and Kara's not going to.
Can we get there?
Echo wouldn't. Kara
We'll
wants
be
to.
able to get there? Like, because it's in the drift? Like, you're gonna give us coordinates to it or something?
Correct.
Okay.
You have 24 hours on Prime Station if there's anything that you need to do.
Are you planning on letting us restock at this place in 3 days?
That was my intention.
Okay. Because then that changes whether or not I need to go shopping on Prime or not.
Perhaps you should seek out Slinky.
I don't think I have time to do those things.
Back to the husk.
Slinky is located in the husk.
I let Slinky know. I called them, and they hung up on me after I told them that I failed. I couldn't even offer much support, but I sent them a text of where... I mean, they're gonna find carnage there, but, like, I have nothing else to offer.
I believe Gibbs has a good idea in that she wishes to coordinate supplies and resupply our medical bay.
Your action or inaction had no bearing on Potato Blue's death.
No, but you were probably right. Had we gone in there a little bit more carefully, maybe we could have rescued hostages first and killed Bridget after.
Or Potato Blue could have taken over the server and utilized it for her own mysterious means.
I mean, maybe, like, but at
All
least she'd
of
be
this
alive.
is speculation. What
I'm telling you, you're right. Why are you mad at me?
We're not
I'm
mad
not
at
mad
you.
at you.
I think you are just. I think you are.
Mom and Dad!
I think you are confusing a lack of modulation in voice for anger.
Probably. You're not the both warm and fuzzy, but like, I get what you're saying, but I'm learning from this. This is twice I've had to tell someone that I lost their loved one.
Again, we are not angry. We are trying to console.
Oh.
I am trying to tell you, you did not lose Potato Blue. Potato Blue lost themselves when they chose the path that they took.
You tried your best in a difficult situation.
It is not our responsibility to save every person that we come across.
You should take comfort in the fact that your actions, however, were able to save, in part, 13,221 people from having their heads explode.
Echo, with all of this, make a sense motive check.
Great time to roll low. Do I
Get
need
that
to take the
reroll?
-2 modifier for myself?
No.
Okay. 18.
With an 18, as you say this, you can't help but remember something that the director said to you when you were in this computer, that there are many people who wish that they had the power to make change, but you in that moment were the only person that could. And it reminds you of something else that the director once said. They had said that they could never fail because there was only one thing that mattered, and that was a directive. And all at once, Echo, you aren't entirely sure that you're not responsible for everybody's safety. But because it is 9:41, this is where we're going to end for this evening. Thank you for joining us for this session of Mosaic Team 5. We'll be back next week, but if you can't wait until then, we'll be back tomorrow night with some D&D. It's going to be some excellent D&D that is happening right after an additional TARP battle.
God, I get fucked up by all those fucking tarps all the time.
We are going to be starting very much in combat, it would seem, and so you could join us at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight, right here on Twitch. But until then, please stay safe. We'll see you later. Goodbye.